Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome along to the Sports Corner Live. That was a failed attempt there, Rowan.
Yeah, I stubbed my toe when I went to stand up.
We're back on the Sports Corner once again for live action from Euro 2020. It's the last group stage games. That's it. Of course, we've had a few weeks of group stage action, but this is where it ends. And it is the biggest group of them all, Group F, where all four teams can still go through to the next round. And potentially tonight, is there a shock on the cards? We'll have to find out. But joining me today for the action, of course, it's the first time he's been able to watch the Germans in the tournament so far. It's Rowan. How are we doing, mate?
I'm doing good, mate. I mean, you and KL got treated to an absolute fucking wonder class of games. I mean, a 5-0 and a 3-2. You cannot complain at all. But I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. And as you said, 5 goals in the space of the two games, 10 goals overall. Absolute cracker. I mean, as I said, that Sweden game was probably for me one of the best of the tournament. An incredible game to watch because, the goal from Lewandowski, the second one, was just sexy. That's all. That's the only word I can describe for it.
And finally, for me, the gamble paid off of having Lewandowski in my team. He got me like 20 plus points. I've had to take him out now, because Poland might not be going through. They're not going through.
They're out anyway.
Well,
but you got your points in the end.
It got me the points. It got me to this point.
And you can't complain about that at all. But no doubt, we've got 2 other good games coming today. As I said before, Rowan is watching Germany up against Hungary. That game, of course, coming about 7 minutes' time. Same with my game, which is Portugal up against France. Now, when we look at the top 4, this is how it's looking. Now, we already know it was announced earlier. At the end of the game, Ukraine have qualified. They're through to the next round. They've shithoused it, if I'm being honest with you, but they've made it. As you can see with the top 4 sides, Portugal in a very good position. The only way they cannot go through tonight is if they were to lose by, it would be about 4 or 5 goals they'd need to lose by, and that would put Finland through. So Finland have the most minuscule of chances to go through, but they're here. And they still have a chance. And we'll have to see, of course, Portugal against France. The one team you probably wouldn't want to come up against who can score goals is France. But we'll have to see either way. Of course, Czech Republic, Switzerland and Ukraine already through. Finland, the last team with a chance. We'll have to see what happens. But how are you guys doing in the chat? Everybody's in the building. KD saying up Portugal, CR7 goals for some golden boot, please. Is that by any chance because you've got a bet on for CR7 to be the golden boot? You'll have to tell us whether you have or not, KD. Kyle, how are we doing, mate? Welcome back. It says, can see Germany winning 4-0. And I want Portugal to win 3-2. Yes, please. Goals tonight would be absolutely fantastic.
Can we make that 6-2, but a France win, so Finland can still go through?
Anything to get Finland through. And I tell you something, that'd be incredible if Finland were to sneak in and Portugal were to be booted out.
Heroic. Because I've got them as my failures of the tournament. Well, do you know, like the failures of the tournament? I had Portugal. And so if that happens, my dreams are coming true.
Dreams coming true indeed. As Louis in the building, we've got Billy Gilmore. How are you doing, Louis? You're good as always, mate. But that's how the top 4 is looking in terms of the teams finishing third. Let's move on to the lineups for the games. Germany up against Hungary. Not really any changes apart from one to the German side. Thomas Muller, who was supposedly out. He's on the bench at the very least. If they do need to bring him on, then I guess he's there. But it's Leroy Sané comes into the lineup. 3-4-2-1. Neuer is in goal. Back 3 of Rudiger, Hummels and Ginter. The 2 wide midfielders who were incredible in that game against Portugal. Gosens and Kimmich back together again alongside Kroos and Gundogan. And then Gnabry is up top. Kai Havertz, who was exceptional again in that game against Portugal, is on the right-hand side. Leroy Sané coming into the team. What do you think? Because this season hasn't been his best, but this could be a good opportunity to really shine.
Yeah, I think against Hungary, it will be the best game. But yeah, as you said, it's not really been the season that I think he would have wanted. I think next season will be not his year, but definitely he will have a more productive season. But a good chance for him to think. And I'd like to see Jamal. I'm glad to see Jamal Musiala on the bench as well. Hopefully might get a chance to come in for possibly Leroy Sané or even in that midfield. But yeah, I think Sané it's an opportunity now to prove himself to Joachim Löw and say against this strong Hungary side who haven't conceded many, and they have. Take away Portugal, they've put such a fight against France that I think it's not going to be a walkthrough for Germany yet.
No, definitely not. And as you said, I'd love to see Musiala come on. I would, because I think he's a player that wouldn't have had a chance had Muller not picked up an injury. So if we do get to see him tonight, I think he's one player that could be key if Germany find themselves maybe 0-0, 1-1, stuck in the game, needing something in the match. As for Hungary, their team not really changed, I think, since the last match. 5-3-2. Shalai comes back in. Adam Shalai picked up an injury in that game against France. He comes back into the team. Glaci's in goal, back five. Fiola and Nego, the two wide players, they're playing as more fullbacks this time rather than wide midfielders. Attila Shalai, brilliant player for Fenerbahce. He's on the back three alongside Orban and Botka. Midfield three, you've got Andras Schaefer, Adam Nagy, and Laszlo Keinheisler. Good luck pronouncing those names tonight, Rowan. And then you've got Shalai and Salai up top. Nice and easy ones to talk through tonight. Do you think there's any chance Hungary can shock Germany and get something?
If Kleinheisler plays the way he played against France, he was one of the better players on the pitch. If he plays how he played against France and win the ball back and try to control it down to the left side, where you saw Fiola, he caused problems for them, and then Nego as well on that right side. I think if Kleinheisler has a similar game to how he did against France, same with Schaefer and Nagy. Actually, Nagy was more the defensive midfielder, revolver midfielding for when Fiola or Nego had pushed up. But yeah, big opportunity. Adam Shalai, I think, is a welcome return. Obviously, I missed the majority of the game against France, but Roland Salah, one of the standout players in this Hungarian side, performed incredibly well across both games, the Freiburg man. And if there's going to be any player who's going to make a difference for this Hungarian side, it's going to be Roland Salah.
Yeah, hard worker, I think is the best way to describe him so far in this tournament. Worked his socks off in that match against France, and no doubt he's going to have to work his socks off again because it's a high-quality game. That's Germany-Hungary, which Rowan's covering tonight. What about the game between Portugal and France? Two of the world-class sides of European football in the last decade. 4-3-3 for Portugal tonight. Two changes to the team that faced off against Germany. Moutinho and Sanchez coming to the side. It means that William Carvalho drops out of the team. I'm not going to lie, I can't remember who the other player was that dropped out, but somebody did drop out in the end. I'm trying to think who it was. We'll find out at some point. Either way, Ruben Tricio. Who is it?
Bruno.
Bruno, you're spot on. Yeah, Bruno's dropped out. I didn't even think of that. I thought he was in there, but that's a big call, obviously, to drop Bruno for now. But Patricio's in goal, back four. You got Guerrero and Semedo as the two midfielders. Fullbacks even. Pepe and Dias as the two centre backs. Obviously, that midfield three we spoke about earlier, and then it's the same front three throughout the whole tournament. Jota on the left, Bernardo Silva on the right, CR7 up top. Needs to have a big game today. Played not great against Germany. Although he did get that goal, he was very quiet, and he's going to have to really put in a performance today. As for France, 4-2-3-1. They're going back to their old traditions again. It's going to be Hugo Lloris in goal. Back four of Hernandez and Koundé as the two fullbacks. Koundé's first game for France at the Euros, with Kim Pembe and Varane as the two centre-backs. Kante and Pogba as the two holding defensive midfielders. Antoine Griezmann as the cam. And then they're going back to the old system they used to play. If you remember a few years ago, not too long ago to be fair, they used to play Sissoko out on the right-hand side. They're doing the same again, but this time Tolisso is the right winger. Mbappe on the left, Karim Benzema up top. They're going back to their old roots tonight, France.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, really interesting. I mean, obviously with Dembele out, I mean, he is missing from the right-hand side, but it's a formation, the previous formation, that hasn't failed them. And you have Thomas Lemar there, who came off the bench, and I don't think did much, but he was still thing. But go back to what you know as well. It could work. It really could work. It'll be very interesting. This game means more for Portugal, obviously, than it does for France, because France would be going through regardless. It's all to do with where they go through. Is the big one.
Yeah, and as you said, if Portugal don't win tonight or they lose and they get battered, then that could see them go out, although it's looking likely that they'll finish in the top four third-place sides anyway, unless France absolutely demolish them, and it'd have to be by 4 or more goals. If that happened, Finland would go through, and Rowan wants it. I think most of us would love to see Finland go through if there was any chance at all. But just quickly going through your comments in the chat. Let's go back to that screen for now. How's everybody doing? Welcome along. Chris is in the building. He says, good evening, lads. How are you both? How are you doing, Rowan? Are you all right?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing very good, thank you. I hope you're doing all good.
I'm all good as well. Good to see everybody doing brilliant today. Peter's in the building. How did Peter? He put evening all. Chris then went, oh, great. I wonder why you said that, Chris. Hope you're all good, Peter. Welcome along. Dad's saying same ref as England, Scotland, France, Germany. I'd assume he means for the Portugal-France game. And then Louis singing about Angus Gunn, of course, going back to Norwich today. We've got Angus and Krul. I just can't see you scoring goals. Let's see what happens in the Premier League. And then Chris saying, I'm watching France v Portugal. I would say, what games are you watching tonight? I think most people will be watching Portugal against France. But, of course, Rowan, with that Germany game, big expectations on the shoulders of Germany tonight because they could actually top the group.
Yeah, the top of the group, and that's probably a better finish than coming second. Well, it's not a better finish because you're going to face England if you come second. And for England fans, both games are interesting. I mean, Hungary have got a chance to go through. If what happens? Because Germany are on 3, right? France are on 4, Portugal on 3, Hungary on 1.
Yeah.
If Hungary beat Germany, Germany are out, right?
If Hungary beat Germany, Germany are out of the competition. They'll not go through, I think.
Unless they stay ahead of Portugal on goal difference.
I'm just having a look now. Goal difference. They've scored 4 goals. No, Germany might... No, I'm just thinking, actually.
I think Germany would go through as 3rd. Portugal will finish 4th if they don't get a positive result. If they lose against France, Portugal will finish 4th.
Yeah, and obviously if Hungary were to win, they'd go through anyway because they've got 4 points, so it'd be more than enough. So, yeah, there is a chance, obviously, that could happen. Very unlikely, but you never know in the World Football. You know, we all thought today Slovakia were going to go and do it, and then they got battered 5-0, which was so hopefully it goes the opposite way.
I really thought it was going to be a more competitive game than it was.
Yeah, I did predict 1-1, and that didn't happen whatsoever. I mean, they didn't have any corners. I think they had 1 shot in the game, so very disappointing at the very least. But Louis saying, sorry, lads, I'll stop mentioning Norwich. The hype right now is too much to handle. Europe looming. It's not long, is it? I think it's about 2 months to
probably
before the games start in the Premier League.
I don't know, man. I know our fixtures are getting released tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Drama.
And I know, obviously, they're drawing all the terrible, shitty Papa John's groups and that today
We've got Tranmere and Salford.
We've got Doncaster and Scunthorpe, I think.
Not bad. Should win them.
Cheeky little trip down to Doncaster, about half an hour, not too long away. Makes it nice.
Not far at all, is it?
Nah, not at all. It's quite quick drive away for us. Daz has asked, though, in the chat, a question for you both. What happens if both matches draw? So, if both matches draw, then the table will stay as it is.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through. France, Germany, Portugal, Hungary out.
Mm-hmm.
I think very, very simply, to put it in easy words for anybody who maybe doesn't know with how the groups are looking. In Germany, Hungary have to win. That's all they can do. A win or they're out. For Germany, a point is enough. Probably more than likely they're through anyway, depending on what happens today. Portugal, a point would be enough. If they were to lose by a heavy margin to France, they're out. If France win or draw, they're already through anyway, so it doesn't matter. So pressure is on Portugal and Hungary today. Germany, France, a little bit more comfortable. Although saying that, if Hungary do go 1-0 up, let's say, then pressure will be back on Germany again. But we'll have to see because it'll go back and forth tonight, I think, with the table.
I think we're going to see so much change. I wouldn't be surprised if Hungary took an early lead. I think Germany would, because we didn't get predictions. I think Germany will win this game. I'll go 3-1. But I think Hungary could get the first. I'm going to take that back a second. It's a good ball over the top. That's a great save, Galaxia. Josh Kimmich has just got through the entire Hungarian backline. So easy. And Galaxia's forced to make a quick save. I'm about to say quick and easy. Nothing easy about it. Good reactions from the Leipzig keeper. What are your predictions, though, Josh, for your game?
It's a tough one to call. I'm going to go 4-2 France. I'm going to say it's going to be, again, another good game tonight. Lots of goals. It's just, for me, I think this France side has got a little bit too much in comparison to Portugal. The only player, and, I'm going to say the only player that I think could probably change the game up is Ronaldo. So maybe there's a little chance of hope.
Okay.
Maybe Pepe, near post header, you never know. But it's a chance for Ronaldo, and very nearly he put the ball in the back of the net, but it's a good save for Lloris. Yeah,
I mean, we've already seen how dangerous both these sort of fullbacks / midfielders have been in Kimmich and Gosens. And we've already seen today Kimmich getting past Viola so easily and forcing Galaxy into a save. Also, Galaxy will have played up against the majority of this German side, so he'll know how they shoot and etc. But, Mats, no. Oh, dearie me.
Did you nearly have Hummel's own goal flashbacks then?
Not Hummel's own goal, but Hummel's losing the ball in his own box. I mean, he's absolutely trucking it down in Germany. It really is. Yeah, but Hummels had the ball in his box and he goes to clear it, just doesn't get enough, and he's forced to like turn and kicks out for a throw-in. And Adam Shalai has just won a corner for Hungary, and this is where they are dangerous with Shalai in the box. Well tackled by Rudiger. But could we see a Hungarian opportunity right off the bat? That's what they need.
If they can take one, you know, if let's say in the next 5 or so minutes early on into the game, if they can put the ball in the back of the net, then no doubt the guys in this game, Portugal, France, they'll hear the news, and it will mean that Portugal will have to go for it even more, because obviously then that means Hungary will move into, I think they go second in the group for now, because obviously Germany would lose the point that they've got. So pressure would be on. By the way, where is your game being played?
Oh, sorry, it was Roland Salah balling behind, and it was good defending from, I don't know who it was. It might be Matt Hummels, who just sort of watched it, and then got a little touch. Well, no, he tried to shepherd it long enough for Neuer. I'm pretty confident it's in Munich.
It's in Munich, yeah, because this game's been played in Budapest, so the stadium is full to the brim, and most of them are Hungarian fans. Obviously, who probably have gone to watch this game to see what happens. Yeah, there's lots of Hungarian flags about the stadium that people have brought, so they're getting treated to a good match either way.
I'm about to say, it's like a Hungarian fan, you'll be peed off that you can't watch your team to play Germany, but you said you might be watching a way better game.
No doubt. I'm going to guess there'll be quite a few fans that have probably got the game on the phone as alongside watching the game in the stadium.
It was very similar to how when we was watching when we did, me and Kale did the watch on for the Denmark and Italy, Wales and stuff. Not Denmark and Belgium, Finland. Hearing all the results, Kale's going, "Oh, they've just heard what's happened in your game," and vice versa. Here, you could hear the fans all reacting to it, and I'm sure we'll get quite a bit of them tonight, because it really is. So not vice versa, but would have been nice to see Hungary play their final game at home. But I suppose Germany being granted all the games at home anyway, so.
Yeah, and no doubt, if Hungary do score and take the lead, then Budapest is going to be absolutely rocking. And obviously, it probably won't be rocking for Portugal or France. They'll all be celebrating the goal that's been scored elsewhere. But it'll make for a nice atmosphere, because obviously in Budapest, it's full to the brim of fans. And I mean, it's not often you get to see Mbappe and Ronaldo in the same game together. So jealous. Very jealous. Someone
I follow on Twitter, one of the Slavia youth team coaches, they've got tickets to this game, and I was just like, oh, man. This is going to maybe one of the last times you're going to see Mbappe and Ronaldo on the same pitch.
Yeah,
really,
you're not wrong.
Unless maybe you get a lucky Champions League tie or something, but apart from that, you're not going to see it. So you get to see a generational talent up against another one, really.
No, you're not wrong. I think it'd be a long time before we see two high-quality players up against each other again, like we have with Ronaldo and Messi. I think maybe Mbappe Haaland is the future one, as everybody's making out. But I don't know what was going on here in this game. Like, it must have took about a minute to take this throw-in. There was just a bit of bickering going on the touchline. Don't know whether... I think it was something to do with a previous tackle that Danilo Pereira had made not too long ago, that a few players were protesting was malicious. Nelson Semedo was stood there waiting to take a throw-in, and then it wasn't given to him. Hernandez took it for France instead. So I've got no idea what was going on, whether he was just holding the ball to waste some time. But
it's very early on to time waste. Very early on. As we just had an opportunity
in as well.
I'm about to say, we just had an opportunity. It was Tony Cruz with a really deep free kick from halfway through Hungary's own half, but he pings in. It's a good one, and he goes over the head of Hummels. But then Rudiger arrives at the back post, and it was really brave defending from him. I think it was Shalai to sort of hold him off, and Rudiger puts it wide. But Hungary have defended quite well so far in this opening 10 minutes. I mean, a couple of runs in behind that is mainly Josh Kimmich who has found that. But I nearly jinxed it. Done well. Klein Heiselman's a foul in the midfield, but they've done well so far, Hungary.
Yeah, and with this game, it's a very tight one. I think Portugal have probably been the better of the two sides so far. They've had the two best chances of the game. One of them was a Ronaldo header, but I think France just patiently building up into this game. You know, as we said before, there's not many fans, probably both sides there. There's a lot of neutrals just there to appreciate the talent that's on display. I think Ronaldo's been doing a little bit of showboating, and you can hear the crowd kind of just in awe of everything that he does on the ball. But Chris saying in the chat, Carlisle got Hartlepool, and our biggest Northwest rivals, Morecambe, who will go straight back down to League Two. And then he said, every game ending in a goal fest under me. Back in the day, Tubbs used to say every game was a boring one. Changed that, hasn't it, with the Euros?
You've completely flipped it.
Great, I love it. And then Kyle's saying Friday 13th of August is when it starts. Brentford v Arsenal, which is very typical. Friday the 13th for Arsenal.
So typical. It's mental, isn't it? Because I remember last season started on the 11th of September or something. Because it was the day before we moved into uni.
And it was Liverpool. Was it Liverpool against
Liverpool Leeds? Because we got the Mane clip, which is just mental to think that. Also, because the season is starting a month earlier, but going to be weird.
Time flies.
Let's go ball in, and it's 1-0 Hungary, and it's Adam Shalai.
Yes,
the captain. That is an incredible. That's a great goal. And surprisingly, it's off the head of him. And I don't know if this is bad keeping from Neuer or just a great header by Shalai. I'll wait and see the replay. But it was a really good ball in. And Hungary are 1-0 up. And my God, there's a lot of Hungary fans here in this stadium. That German kit's sexy, by the way. But my God, 1-0. And it was really out of nothing. It was Kleinheiser in the midfield. Plays it through to Roland Salah. And then it was Nigo on the right-hand side. Puts it to Roland Salah in the midfield. Salah then takes it and just puts an incredible ball in. Adam Shalai is onside, wide open, gets past my man, Matt Hummels. He dives through the ball, flicks it on into the bottom right-hand corner. Neuer gets a palm to it, but it's not enough. So much power generated from it. And it's 1-0 Hungary. And that ball by Roland Shalai is absolutely incredible.
Budapest has erupted. The noise is brilliant right now because they'll have heard the news, of course. And I'm seeing the goal on my screen. It's just a classy header, isn't it? You know, a player of his quality with the height and the build he's got. You've got to mark him at the near post. And I'll tell you something, right now, with the way it's standing and how the group's looking, Hungary moving to third, Germany moving to fourth. They go bottom of the league of the table. Yeah.
And head-to-head.
Wow.
So no, Portugal don't even need to do anything. Portugal could lose today. No.
No, Portugal could not lose.
Oh, this is getting interesting.
Well, actually, no. Portugal could lose, but it couldn't be by a big margin because they've still got the goals scored. So basically what needs to happen is Hungary could realistically finish second. It just would require Portugal to lose and then obviously to keep the result. But there's a long way to go.
100%. And like I said, Hungary probably might score the first goal. And they have it. It's a lovely header. And it's also the beauty of you watching on terrestrial TV is once I've said the goal, you get to see the highlight more or less once I've finished talking about it.
Oh, what a start.
Oh, it's a good ball in behind. Leroy Sané to Kimmich puts a really high ball in. Actually, it's quite poor.
We love it. And Hungary potentially on the brink of the most unbelievable group stage that there's ever been. I mean, there's a long way to go. But Tubbs, he's in the building. How are we doing, Tubbs? Welcome along. He says Germany sucks. He's not doing good, I assume, because of the Germany game. But what a start. We love to see it. And obviously, if Hungary were to go through, this is how Group F would look in terms of who would face who. So the winner of Group F would go on to face either third place in Group A or C. That is either Switzerland or Ukraine. No pressure on Mr. KL because it looks like Switzerland could face off against either one of France or Portugal as it stands. And then the other one, the team that finishes third in Group F will go up against Belgium. So as it stands, Hungary v Belgium, which would not be a bad game. I'll tell you that for sure. Be an absolute cracker of a match. And I'm looking as well to see, I think second place of this group would play, of course, England. As there's a chance here for Ronaldo, ball lobbed into the box, doesn't get to him in the end. And it's all right, Rowan.
I was finishing my packet of crisps, so we did what's it called, Russell. And I was just having a problem tying it up. And I was going like, I agree with you, Josh. Because, I mean, there's some tasty ties. That Belgium versus whoever is a good tie. Let's say Hungary lose here, and it is between France, Portugal, or Germany. Whoever Belgium get is going to be an incredible game. And same with England.
100%. Yeah, I've got to say, this for me is probably one of the strongest looking. Stop him for a second because Mbappe's in. Good save from Patricio. Just hit straight at him. But I would probably say, for me, probably some of the strongest looking round of 16 matches there's been for a long time.
100%. I don't think there's any bad games. I really don't. Like there'll be some like Italy Wales doesn't scream absolute classic, but you might get to see Italy absolutely spank Wales. Italy Austria. Wales Denmark is another game where probably similar to that, Italy Austria. You would expect I would say Denmark are the favourites going into that game, but you can't rule out Wales. They love the Euros of recent time. And that game, both of them games are going to be very interesting.
Going to be very interesting indeed. And as we said, obviously, if Hungary do go through, they've got a decent potential chance of maybe coming up against Belgium, which would be a great game because both of those teams do tend to play 3 and 5 at the back. So it'd be quite an attacking game, I think, because obviously Tubbs was saying about Mainz won by 0. Very true. Very true. It's happening again, but in the international stage.
Can Adam shout? I know KD will be absolutely buzzing.
I
already seen it in chat. The message is just screaming, "Shall I?" I mean, it was an incredible ball by Roland Salai, and it's what he's useful for, and why I think Hungary and Hungarian fans all around the world were so happy that he was back for situations like that. It's an incredible header, and I mean, Hungary haven't really done much with the lead. They haven't used the advantage to go forward. It has really been all Germany in that lovely black kit. But
I would say as well with Shalai is throughout the tournament when he has played, he's been a real danger. The first match against Portugal, he had good opportunities from set pieces. Yep. In the few minutes he got in that game against against France, he had, I think, 1 or 2 little chances.
He's at the way he went off.
Dangerous player.
The way he went off was doing what he was doing and winning headers. Really dangerous. And I mean, if Hungary go through, not sleeper hits, I wouldn't say a Greece kind of thing, but definitely not rule them out. To get a draw against France, if possibly beat Germany. And also, I think this back 5 could really I think they've noticed how well, I mean, they've been running the back 5 the entire tournament, but obviously Gosens and Kimmich ran the show against Portugal. And that back 5 really does contain them so much more. And it doesn't allow that massive overlap to occur as much.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I really hope they go through Hungary. I'd love to see it. It would be the best and most shocking group stage there's ever been in international football.
It's gone all the way through. Gnabry is well blocked by Kleinheiser. And Hungary are going to go forward, but it was Kai Havertz all by himself, tippy-toeing through the Hungarian defence, and he squares it across the goal. It goes to no one. And then Nigo goes tried to play a ball in on Nego, and it was blocked. But such a prime opportunity. And that was Kai Havertz magic right there. Just tippy-toeing through 3. The passing was incredible. I think Kimmich to Gundogan. Gundogan immediate pass to Havertz, and then drives forward, squares it across, and it misses Sane, and then goes all the way to Gnabry, who can't do anything with it. But, and then Hungary nearly the chance to counter-attack. So close.
And they're going to have to watch out, Hungary, because obviously they might not get many chances tonight, if any, and they're going to have to stay as defensively organised as they have done for most of this tournament. And obviously against Germany, you cannot switch off for a single second when you've got players like Havertz and obviously Gnabry as well, who can put the ball in the back of the net quite consistently.
I think if the we've seen it with a couple of games, but if one goal goes in, the floodgates will open with Germany. They're one of them sides. That relenting pressure will just sort of, how about say demolish you, but I wouldn't say demolish, but the pressure piles on you, and it really tests sort of the willpower of a side's defence if you can still hold strong and stop them scoring. And that's what Hungary are going to have to do for around 70 minutes left.
And I will tell you, Summer, and it's a point Chris has made in the chat, that would be some luck for Southgate if we get Hungary, because if France do take the lead in this match, then Hungary will go second and England would face them. And I'll tell you, Summer, I'd be shitting bricks playing them because they've been very good in this tournament. They would have absolutely nothing to fear.
And I genuinely think it might be the most boring game because it'd be a back 5 versus a back 6 of us. Which I don't envy whoever would be covering that game.
No, I wouldn't either, and it won't be me. I'll tell you that for sure if it is, because I think, to be fair, I think regardless of when we play, I think I'm out that day anyway. But
look at you skiving out of the game.
skiving out of the game. Somebody's got to cover it. Hopefully, we'll get KD on it. KD will do it. We could agree on that one. If he's
we'll get KD on it.
We'll book him on it. He's got that match.
Even if he's working, he's doing it from work.
We'll get him in William Hill recording it, as Tubbs put in the chat. I call this Germany-Hungary game the sausage derby. Okay.
I've never had a legitimate German sausage then. But like, in terms of, I've never had a proper German sausage.
Like a bratwurst.
Please. Yeah, I've never had yeah. I feel like I need to go to Germany.
Go to Germany, have a proper hot dog from Germany.
The sports corner go on tour. We'll go to Germany. We'll do a tour of all of our clubs, but not like Dortmund and Gladbach. We've got to go to Werder Bremen. We've got to go to Cologne. We've got to go to Augsburg, Freiburg, Mainz. We've got to go to all of the clubs.
We've got to go to all of the teams in the Bundesliga and go through the stadiums. By the way, this game so far, there's only been one real chance for France. They've been really poor, I have to say. I think both teams have looked pretty poor. There were one opportunity, Mbappe earlier, which I was talking about, hit it straight at the path of Rui Patricio, who made the save in the end.
Oh!
Not been many chances.
I mean, we've just had a chance here, and it was a corner that came in, and then it was a really good ball. It was Kimmich who crossed it in, and Mats Hummels, I think it was, jumps up at highest, and he heads it off the crossbar. So close, but I mean, you've had a boring game. I'm going to say the France haven't actually played that quite entertaining. But my God, these two games heating up. Hummels is stayed in the box. It's in the bar. What a save, Galaxy. Well, it's not even a good save. Matthias Ginter is probably one of the players you don't want having the ball at his feet. And he's just put it right into Galaxy's hands. But two of the centre-backs stayed up. And actually, Ginter does really well to get to the ball. But he just puts it straight into the hands of Peter Galaxy. But this game is heating up, Josh. I feel sorry for you.
I had a good game earlier. To be fair. I think it just needs one decent chance for it to come to life. Obviously, they'll know that the news has come out. Hungary's taken the lead. So I really do hope it gives France a bit more of a desire to go and get a goal. And so far, it hasn't. They've not really done anything with the ball. Benzema's been pretty quiet. Griezmann as well. And Mbappe having that one chance on goal. But obviously, the dream scenario going in at half time and maybe the end of the match would be for Hungary to finish second. That's what we would love to see.
Oh, imagine. That would be shitty Southgate. We talk about how we want to be tested this tournament and we'd end up getting Hungary. Now, don't get me wrong, Hungary are a good side, but they're not a France, Portugal or Germany. I mean, they might beat them in the group, so maybe it is a tougher thing. But by the way, Germany are not stopping. You just heard the massive roar of the German crowd because they are not giving Hungary any chance. Immediately, it was Matthias Ginter that time who played the ball, and we had an opportunity with Leroy Sané dancing his way, played it through to Kimmich. No one got to the end of it. But Germany have got the wind in their sails. We've just seen that opportunity. It does actually beat Adam Shalai to the header. It beats Shalai and Orban to the header. It angles it so well, it just comes off the crossbar. But 1-0 right now. And Germany do look like scoring, though. And this game is definitely not done yet.
I mean, everybody around the world, there'll be a lot of fans, unless you're German, of course, back in Germany, that'll be praying that somehow Hungary can hold on. And obviously, the waves of attacks are going to be relentless in terms of how Hungary come forward. And we've seen it before. We've seen it in the last few years when they come up against sides. Iceland got a result against them. South Korea got a result. Sweden as well. Yeah. They can be prone to dropping points against teams that you wouldn't expect. And on a day like this, it's the one day you don't want to drop any points because this would be embarrassing for Germany after beating Portugal so convincingly.
And also 2 major tournaments being knocked out of in a row out of the group stage would be very embarrassing. And especially not especially to Hungary, but like you said, coming off that 4-2 win against Portugal, they really had to use this momentum. And I do feel sorry for Portugal because their fixtures have come at the worst time. You start off the best you can against Hungary with that 3-0 win, but then having to play France and Germany and France in a repeat. At least France and Germany got that break in between, whereas Portugal really sort of their second game was their testing game. I think for them they would have preferred having a Germany or a France to start off with, really go into the thick of it at the start, have that rest and then get the final game. But it'll be if your game's still 0-0, Hungary will just feel biting their toenails, biting their fingernails.
They might be biting
They
their
won't be
toenails
biting
if they want to. It depends if they're into that.
That'd be incredible. That's weird. But yeah, they'll be biting the nails. Let's say Hungary get to the 80th minute, they're still leading, and France-Portugal is 0-0. Oof.
We'll have to see. And obviously, if regardless of what happens in this game, whether Portugal or France take the lead, it doesn't really matter because they're behind them anyway. So regardless of what happens in this match, obviously, they'll want France to win because it makes it better for them, much more obviously likely than they would finish second if they were to get the points. But they would be in third, and it'd be more than enough. As we said, 4 points was the aim for the actual kind of third place spots, and we were spot on with that. No team, as it stands, apart from Ukraine, I think, are going through on 3 points. As there's a free kick lobbed in by Portugal, Lloris has battered, and there's a penalty.
Oh,
and it's a penalty to Portugal, and there's going to be a stoppage in play here. Lloris goes into the book. And I think this is the right decision. He pointed straight to the spot, and I think Lloris, as he came out for the ball, he'd gone and punched. I think it was Dylan Pereira. He gets him in the end, and it's the right decision for me to give this as a penalty. It's a very, very reckless decision from Lloris. Just as we were talking about the complexions of the groups changing, this could now give an opportunity for Portugal to go top of the table. And there's loads of players complaining, as you'd expect. And I understand why some of them will complain, but for me, it's a penalty, and it's a definite yellow card for Lloris, who goes into the book. And it is the referee who obviously managed the Champions League final, and he's not having any of it. And fair play to him, because rightly so, because Pereira's still down, getting some treatment, and the stretcher's coming out.
Oh,
doesn't have to be used.
Got fight. And that's not good. Sorry, I know it's not the worst time you got to say stretcher and I'm screaming fight, but it's Kimmich and Fiola. Kimmich absolutely tackled by Fiola, and then Kimmich stood up immediately and got in his face, and they're still having a war of words right now. And we've got a battle on our hands in both again. Hopefully, we hope that Danilo Pereira's all right.
Well, we're just seeing the replay again now to see Lloris. It is so reckless. I mean,
could this be changed? The card.
I'm surprised Dylan Pereira's not been knocked out there. In fact, he probably has been. That is a boxer's punch from Lloris. He absolutely wipes him out. He doesn't look at the ball. He's looking at the ball. He's not looking at the player, so he doesn't obviously see Pereira's there, but he punches him right in the face. And I tell you what, Pereira's probably been knocked out there. He won't be continuing on. Luckily, he's actually up, and he doesn't need a stretcher, which is good to see.
That's good to see.
But CR7 is going to have a chance with a penalty, which will get taken in a moment. And a big moment. This could be in the group.
That's it. And there's one man you want in this situation is Cristiano Ronaldo, calm and composed.
We've seen it in slow motion now.
Well done.
Oh. Absolutely
proper
wiped
out. I'm presuming.
Yeah.
And I'm worried. If you've got booking points on this game, get prepared because you're going to see a lot of them. As Botka now is going to go into the first yellow card of this game, I'm pretty confident. Just absolutely wipes out Gundogan. Gets nowhere near the ball.
So penalty for Portugal here. Ronaldo stood on the spot ready to take it. Obviously taken a few penalties in this game. Question is he going to put it in? Ronaldo hasn't actually missed one yet. And obviously we saw earlier throughout the tournament, players have missed quite a few penalties. But if there's one man that doesn't usually miss one, it's Ronaldo. Is he going to be part of the Euros curse, or will he put it in? Ronaldo steps up.
Lloris go from
comfortable. Brilliant. Bottom left. Lloris goes to the right. Portugal take the lead. And we have an interesting look at the group stage because now Portugal go top of the table. And it's a very interesting game, this one, because it's not had much in it. But that might just open this game up now. 1-0 Portugal with half an hour on the clock.
And this is the worst result for Hungary possible. Well, not the worst result. They'll still go through as third place. But this isn't really what they needed, is it?
No. I mean, as I said before, as long as they're winning, it doesn't matter who's winning this game because they go through as the third place team regardless. They've just got to do.
Come on.
They've just got to get the result. Obviously, if this game could end 7-0 to Portugal, and it still won't matter.
True. We've got another yellow card. It's Ilkay Gundogan just pulling down Italian Shalai. But more importantly, no, it was Kleinheiser, sorry. That's a yellow card in my bet because I had Gundogan to get carded. So I just need Hummels, Rudiger, and Salah.
That's what you want. Off to a good start. Can't complain.
I could be in a lot of luck.
Hopefully so. We'll have to see whether or not. But Hungary, have they had many chances since, or is it literally just the one chance they've had that they took?
It's just that one chance, Josh. Yeah, it really is nothing much from them at all. They've had to sit back for nearly 25 minutes or whenever Shalai scored. They have got an opportunity here. Roland Salah's just got it outside the box. He's under a lot pressure from a lot of black shirts. To Naj to Roland Salah on the wing. Could create something here. Tries to go for the cross and it's blocked well by Joshua Kimmich. Obviously with that defender's instinct, playing all over the pitch tonight.
Very good player indeed. Very good player.
I am just seeing the penalty from Ronaldo now. Calm as you like. That left-hand corner, in the left-hand side. See, he loves it, doesn't he? So good.
It's his time to shine, isn't it, on the biggest stages. He loves it, as Chris has been saying. Lloris so overrated. He's France's weak point. Said it for years. Kyle said, just switch over. Take a pen all day. France have no right to complain. Could have seriously hurt him, and I agree with that. I don't know why any of them were complaining. And then Chris said, maybe Lloris has been drinking with that shambolic decision.
Who knows? I mean, I still think he's a talented goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, but yeah, when you've got Magnan and sexy Steve Mandanda on the bench, there's better options. Do you think we'll get to see Arbas? Do you think we'll get to see sexy Steve? We might do if Lloris gets sent off.
No, I still think Magnan had come on the pitch rather than Steve. Thing is with Mandanda, he's always been on the bench for them. And he has played sometimes. I think usually he comes on like that. If they're in the third game of a group and they've got nothing to play for, then usually he'll go in goal for a match. But Portugal coming forward, ball with Renato Sanchez, who I still wish had scored that screamer against Germany when he hits from about 40 yards out. That would have been a ludicrous goal if that went in. It's chance here for Martino. I might go for long range of his own, and he flies, but it flies wide of the goal. And I thought we were going to get another goal then, but sadly not.
And so at the age of 36, he's had 34 appearances. 34 appearances for the French international side. So big up, Steve. And he's a lot older than I thought he was.
Yeah, he's not young. He's definitely not young. He's getting on.
Bless him.
When he had a little stint.
Good ball by Matt Hummels. Roland Salah. We talked about him being one of the most dangerous players for Hungary. And they're just running up against Hummels. Hummels actually defends well this time. But imagine, let's say Germany do bow out. That own goal from Matt Hummels probably is what's separating them from staying in this competition. Because, I mean, France only had one shot on target in that first game. Just incredible.
With the group, it means Hungary and France are on the same points as each other. How mad is that?
Oh, Jesus. It's probably one of the most funniest groups in this tournament. In terms of, we knew it was a group of death, but in terms of how it's planned out, Hungary have been way more competitive than we would have expected, which I think has brought a lot of drama to it.
It's definitely lived up to the group of death vibe, but there's a chance here for Portugal. Oh, unlucky there. Diogo Jota tried to weave in and out of 3 or 4 defenders at the back for France. Eventually stumbled over, but the ball flicked over. Ronaldo thought he was going to get a touch on it, and then he didn't in the end. And simple save for Hugo Lloris.
We just had an opportunity there. It was Adam Shalai plays a lovely ball to the plunder of space on that bottom left-hand side of the pitch. Viola chases. He's got a bunch of time, but no one's in the box. So Adam Shalai, not the quick. He was Roland Salah was the only one in there. Doesn't win the header, well defended by Rudiger. But a lot of space opened up for Germany now on this right side. Joshua Kimmich, great defending there by Attila Saloy, who is now operating as a left mid. He's also carrying a bag in his hand. And it's Saloy. Oh, he puts the ball across in his poo one. But it's where you see a centre-back make a run as a left wing while holding a bag in his hand. I don't know why he's got a bag in his hand. He was on the pitch, and I presume he's going to pick up and then found the ball at his feet.
Fair play. The dedication to keep going and not stop himself. You love to see it.
It's a strange thing because he really is making a really good run to space, and he's just got a bag in his hand. He's absolutely chucking it down here. Oh, I know where the bags come from. It's that people have been putting over the heads to stop them from getting wet, but it's just slipped out the hands because it's so windy. It's ended up on the pitch. That makes sense. As all the fans are retreating to the sort of the back of the stadium under cover. Apart from a few German loyalists.
Wow. Yeah, it is. I've just flicked over to have a look at it. It's very different conditions to Budapest.
How about say Budapest has been hot this entire tournament, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's about 30 degrees there. It's quite warm in Budapest.
Polar opposites here. The thing is, it's bad, but I can't actually wait for the rain. I love the rain.
I don't know
I don't know whether I'm more of a Sun man or a great charge by Fiola. Really good. And he's been one of the standout players for Hungary. We talk about sort of going it forward, but I mean, shall I? The centre-back Italia as Adam Shalai is absolutely drenched, and with that long hair, he's not the most pleasant. And the Hungarian fans that are there have got it the best because they're not under the rain, so they're all shirtless, just cheering.
To be fair, I think if it was raining anyway, most of the Hungarians would probably be shirtless regardless.
They do not care.
Fair play to him. Peter's in the building. How did Peter says, what did I miss? I had to go shopping. He did ask if the game's been any good. This one's been a little bit quiet, Portugal, France. It had a penalty which was given, rightly given. Lloris with a punch on Dylan Pereira when he came out of his box. Ronaldo comfortably tucked it away. But apart from that, France haven't looked good. And I was saying this before, and I said it when I think me and Kieran were live for the last game of Matchday too. I have to be honest, I don't think we've really seen the best of any of the big sides in this competition, bar maybe Italy, Netherlands and Belgium. I think the rest of the teams have looked really poor, or they've had little glimpses where they've just disappointed slightly.
Yeah, 100%. I think Germany against France, France against Hungary, Portugal against Germany. And that's just in their own groups. But yeah, Italy are a side for me that I wish I backed them from the start because they look good, and I want to see how well they're doing against Austria, and then after that because they're a very good side and they could easily win this tournament for me.
I think depending on who they face in the quarters, definitely they've got a good chance of going on a good run. I mean, Austria's a great game to go into as well because probably one of the weaker sides left in the competition as Griezmann's just gone into the book with a yellow card.
How are the quarters decided?
So basically the quarters, it tends to be I think winner of game 6 will go up against winner of game 5. So they've already got it set out. So for example, the winners of the Croatia-Spain game, the winners of the Croatia-Spain game will play the winners of whoever finishes top of Group F, and they're up against either Switzerland or Ukraine. So there's a chance we could see Spain against France or Portugal or Germany. England, for example, if England go through, then they'll play the winners of game number 8. So that would be Sweden or where is it? Let me have a look. It's
there's so much interlink.
So it would be Sweden or Ukraine.
Okay.
Or if Finland was somehow able to make it through, Finland.
Come on, the boys. I mean, it's looking less and less likely.
Realistically speaking, the dream scenario for England fans here, right, would be Hungary win, France beat Portugal, then we would get Hungary, then we would then face either one of Sweden or Ukraine. And then we're talking about a semi-final again. Very unlikely, but you never know.
Very, very unlikely.
Even if you win the big game against whoever you face, you've then got a good chance of playing Sweden or Ukraine. So regardless, if we were to make it through, and let's say we did beat a France or a Portugal, the door then opens up.
You can't rule us out. You can't rule anything out yet. We've still got another half. of football left, which because Kai Havertz has gone down. I don't know with what. But he's rolling Salah way outside the box, just goes for a dig, and it takes a bit of a deflection off Havertz, which forces Neuer into a save. Obviously, with the wet conditions, if you're one of them strikers or midfielders, it's probably temptation just to go for a shot, because obviously the ball will be so wet and slippery. There's a chance that one of these keepers can either slip or drop the ball or something. With 5 minutes left of this half, Germany have had a couple of opportunities, but nothing much.
Hungary keeping them nice and quiet. That's what you want to say. Peter did say in the chat at the moment that England got Portugal. No, they haven't. England got France as it stands, because with Portugal winning, they go to the top of the group. England plays whoever finishes second. So as it stands, England will have France and Portugal will have Switzerland or I think Ukraine. It's most likely going to be that they're going to have Switzerland and that Ukraine will have, I think, Sweden. That's how it's looking.
Big up Switzerland. Big them up. We've got to hype him up for KL. He's not here to back his boys.
Well, he was saying earlier, either way, his two sides, Austria and Switzerland, are going to have very tough games regardless. So no pressure on him.
100%. And at least Czech Republic got through. That's all that matters for me. They've got a tough group, but they got through.
And they did very well as Ronaldo's gone down, going to get a free kick for Portugal, being probably one of the better players on the pitch. And to be fair, there's not been many good moments in this game so far, but he's certainly giving a good spectacle tonight as Deschamps not happy with how France have played here, and rightly so. They've not had a great tournament overall. And I'll tell you something, if Portugal can make the most of this free kick here and go in 2-0 at half-time, then it's probably looking like Portugal are going to go from being towards the bottom end of the table to the top. And fair play to them, because they played very well in this game. But let's see what happens here. Free kick on the left wing. Ronaldo's in the box alongside Deli Praia. Matinho and Bernardo Silva, the two stood over it to whip it in. It's going to be Matinho who whips it into the box. Well, he doesn't whip it into the box because it hits N'Golo Kante on the head.
That doesn't look the nicest of challenges. There was nothing malicious in it. It was Rudiger was just going to win the ball back, and I think 2 seconds. Let me just get his number just in case I am incorrect. No, I was right. It's Botka who was on that right hand side, and he's gone to try like clear the ball. Rudiger's gone for the challenge, and it's just not the nicest of collisions between legs. Rudiger's fine. He went up and cleared the ball. Botka stayed down, and Germany kicked the ball to play for them. I mean, bless Neuer. He's trying to dry his hands with possibly the wettest towel in the world, but Botka is going to get up onto his feet, which is good to see. Gingerly, it may be, but he will be back up on his feet.
Good to see. Good to see. We're into the last minute of this game between Portugal and France. And I know what Carl's just very quickly put in the chat. He said, if Germany lose, maybe they should have sacked Joachim Löw. A new manager might have got better out of this German team. But don't get me wrong, the players bar Portugal game have been poor. I do agree with you. I think it's not been the best tournament, has it? But as you said, Rowan, there's a long way to go. We've still got another half. They could turn it up in the second half. And then we'll be sat here saying, well deserved that they're through to the next round.
Yeah, I think issues where it is, and it pains me to say, is Mats Hummels. Because obviously he scored the own goal of France, which led to 0 points. He scored, and then he left Adam Shalai unmarked, which allows Shalai to score. That leaves him with 0 points, which will knock him out of the tournament.
Oh!
And that is...
Penalty! Penalty for France?
Oh, wow.
Well, this is a bizarre one because there was such a long delay for the decision to be given. And this is going to be checked by VAR, I think. But
I want to see reaction was great. You went, ah!
Well, this is the thing.
It's a shock.
Ball was lobbed towards Mbappe. That's not a penalty. That's not going to be given. Nelson Semedo kind of gone to push Mbappe a little bit. I don't think that's going to be given as a penalty, and I think that'll be disaccredited by VAR. That
it was just your reaction of it's a pain.
It just came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it, and and again, obviously, when somebody's fouled in the box, most of the time you know whether it's going to be a pen or not. But it's just the way the referee, I think it took about a second or two to decide whether to give it or not. And I'm just seeing it again now. It's not a penalty. That's just Mbappe trying to get the pen. I'll be very surprised if VAR doesn't overturn this.
I would say we haven't seen many shoddy bad decisions in this tournament, apart from, I think we've only had really one, and that was it. The refereeing standard has been high, and same with the VAR. So,
I mean, as a neutral, you want this to be given because, you know, it would put France right back into this game, and they've played terrible, I'll be honest with you. And he's Benzema, by the way, who stood over it. Check over, penalties given. I have to say, and there will be some people saying in the chat that the penalty should be given. I think that is a contentious
that's
penalty.
awful.
So Benzema can step up.
Oh no, it's penalty first. Oh.
And Benzema's missed his last three. Is he going to put this in? Benzema steps up, slots it home, 1-1, and Benzema backs. And what an important goal that could be. And I have to be honest with you, there will be some people in the chat who say that should be given as a penalty. I think it's a contentious decision, but they're backing it. It's 1-1, and this game has a lot riding on it in the second half.
We had a quick opportunity before I was going to ask you a question. It was Kai Havertz in the box, has a really good first shot, he's blocked, and his second finish is so bad, he swings it way wide. Also, Portugal-France is 1-1 now. I can't believe I cashed out my Benzema thing now.
We were literally sat here before the stream saying, of course, if you're in England, you'll know Sky Bet have got something going on basically where before the tournament started, if you put down a player to be top scorer, every time they scored, you get £3 worth of free bets. Rowan put down Benzema as his top scorer and then cashed it out before this game started, and now he's bagged.
The thing is, right, the cash out would have still been higher after the game anyway. So I should have just cashed out at the end of the game regardless, because even if he did score, I failed. I failed myself.
And this could be a group change of this. I mean, do tell us in the chat whether you think it's a penalty or not, because I'd be interested to see whether you guys think it is or whether you wouldn't give it. I think it was very harsh on Semedo there. It's not for me a penalty. And as Carl said in the chat, this is why I hate VAR. No way that's a pen. And I agree with him. The thing is, from where the decision was made, it does look like Semedo was grappling. I understand that. But as Kyle said, Mbappe, he runs into him and he just fell over. And for me, it's such a poor decision. And obviously the Portuguese manager's having a bit of a talking to from the ref because Fernando Santos is absolutely fuming with the decision that's been given. And France, who've done nothing in this game, I think they've been very poor, are going to go into the break at half-time with a chance here to go and get a victory, but it shouldn't be a pen.
I'll try and find it on Twitter or something so I can react to it. My game has finished at half-time, and some of these Hungarian players look absolutely shattered. More importantly, Adam Shalai, because he's given his all this first half, and they're 1-0 up. And I don't think I would have been expecting to say that. Adam Shalai, Roland Salah with a great ball in, finds Shalai in the box, and it's a great header. Put it past Manuel Neuer. And then they've just had to put up with a barrage of attacks from Germany, an absolute barrage. But they've held on. They've held on, currently 1-0 up as it stands. And more importantly, Josh, you know what? Before that French game, I went, you know what? I'll put a Benzema to score just so I can make up for it. I put him on to score a brace, which means I either need one more, but I was going to put it on to score one. But we're all good because your game finished now?
No, still going. We're nearly the 50th minute of the match. Of course, because we had the time for the VAR decision, players just continued for a bit. Don't think it'd be long before it finishes. But, I mean, everybody in the chat is agreeing. Kyle obviously saying it's never a pen. Daz saying it's a dive. I think it's a poor decision. If you're an England fan, you don't care because France are one goal away from sending Hungary to second place as it stands. But for the honesty and the real judgment of the game, it's a shocking decision. And for me, that's the first bad decision we've had at the tournament. As half-time whistle's gone, after 5 minutes of additional time, I think Portugal are in absolute disbelief at the fact that they're not 1-0 up in this game. Very surprising decision is the best way to put it for the penalty for Karim Benzema, but it's not him to go down in the box. He was the one that just took the pen. Brilliant pen in the end by him. And France are well and truly in this game. And as Ronaldo and Mbappe and Benzema, both go down the tunnel at half-time giving each other cuddles, probably Ronaldo saying, how the fuck was that a pen? Because I don't know how it's a pen.
I'm just looking here to try... I can't find it. I've just seen some great tweets. I didn't realise. I feel sorry for you because you've got Jermaine Genius on commentary. This is a quote from Jermaine Genius. This is over the Lloris incident. Jermaine Genius just said, anywhere else on the pitch, it's a foul. In what universe would a flying punch from a goalkeeper occur anywhere else on the pitch? Back has summed it up perfectly in my game. Hummels is our most threatening attacking player. GG's to Hungary. And I still haven't found the Mbappe thing yet.
It's crazy game, this one. Crazy day when you think about it in terms of what's going on here, because obviously in terms of the groups, and as it stands right now, we're 45 minutes away from Group F and the Euros, at least the group stage at the very least, being done. What this has done basically is obviously France and Portugal, they don't move any positions right now. They stay where they are. France in first on 5 points. Portugal in second on 4 points. Hungary winning that game against Germany means that Hungary stay in third on 4 points, -2 goal difference. The goal difference doesn't matter. As long as they get 4 points, they're through to the next round, regardless of whether they've lost by -7 goal difference. As long as they got the 4 points, that's fine. Germany sat at the bottom of the group on 3 points. Now, if France beat Portugal tonight, then it does mean Hungary goes second. Portugal will drop down to third. It would still be enough for them to go through. So all 3 of those teams would go through. Germany would get knocked out. But then that would mean Hungary would face England. So if you're an English fan, maybe you're looking at that penalty now and thinking to yourself, I don't care that it was a bad decision because we are potentially 1 goal away from playing Hungary in the next round. But in terms of your game, Rowan, 45 minutes in, Hungary 1-0 up. At the start of the game, I asked you, could they do it? You said there's a slim chance, but they might. 45 minutes left. I'm going to ask you the same question again. Can they do it?
No. Yes. No, being serious, they can definitely do it. They've held strong, and Germany have got nothing going forward. Nothing. And that is a problem because Gosens and Kimmich are working their absolute asses off to create something. And Havertz, Leroy Sané, I know Kenny in my head has been practically invisible today. Same with Serge Gnabry. But I haven't noticed really anything of Leroy Sané. Same with Serge Gnabry. Genuinely, if I'm Joachim Löw, I take Sané off. I put Gnabry where Sané is and put Kevin Volland up front and just even Thomas Muller, have an actual striker up front. So I don't know what it is they're lacking, but them 3 up front, Havertz, Gnabry and Sané, have done nothing. They've been very poor. As for Hungary, though, Adam Shalai, work rate is on an absolute another level. I mean, we talked about the goal, Roland Salai, incredible cross, Adam, with the finish. But their work rate from both sides, even from your 3 midfielders and your strikers, we've seen them more in defence the entire time. But still, when they've won the ball back, Roland Salai, Kleinheisler, Schaefer, Adam Shalai, all moving up, trying to create something. We even see it from these fullbacks of Nigo and Fiola. There's so much heart from this Hungarian side. And Adam Shalai just basically sat on the pitch after the thing, absolutely panting his head off because they've worked so well. And I feel like they would be so disheartened if they don't come away with 3 points and they got knocked out of this tournament, because they really do deserve it if we're basing it off this game.
Yeah, and hopefully so. I mean, I'd love to see them go through. And as I said, I'd love to see them finish second because obviously there were a lot of people out there saying Hungary will be a better game because they're an easier team. But I also think that game would be, as much as you said it'd be a boring one, I also think it'd be quite an exciting game because, as I said before, Hungary wouldn't have anything to fear. They got a result against Germany. They got a result against France. They could beat anyone in their heads at the very least. But obviously, right now, Germany in a position of real peril again for the second time in a row after the 2018 World Cup. Stats-wise, the game, 8 shots, 2 on target, 74% possession. Hungary will have expected today to not have much possession on the ball. They have expected that for the whole thing. But what they've done is they've taken the chances. They've been so clinical. As the game goes on, we saw it against France. They saw an opening in that game with about 20 minutes left, where they, rather than sitting back They tried to get a second in that match to win it, and very nearly did. Do they go the same way in this game, or do you think because we're at the last match, because there is a situation here where they've just got to win? That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
If they draw, doesn't matter. Do they just sit back and hold it, or do you think there is a little glimpse of a chance where maybe they have one opportunity and Salah or Shalai can take it and maybe make it 2-0 and kill the game off?
There's definitely opportunities. There really is. Because Germany are committing so many men forward, you are at a position where you've got two centre-backs, usually Hummels and Rudiger, sat at the back waiting because Ginter has pushed the ball. One of the centre-backs moves up, which leaves you so open in defence. And that's what they did. There was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 opportunities where they've sat and just held a brick wall for 5 minutes. And then as soon as they spot it, Fiola or Nego will just turn the burners on and start running, and it forces the German players to really switch and gears and come track back. And for me, don't change anything for Hungary. Play how you're playing. Play on the back foot because you are winning right now. And use that counter-attacking opportunity that is starting to work, could work for you if you maybe have a better finishing touch or more players can just get to the box. For me, don't change anything up. Sit, and finish the game on 4% possession or something. Because I genuinely could see that. But it will be very interesting to see how Hungary, because I could see them going for it. I could see them sort of get greedy. But that's what happened against France. And I hope that they sort of know that we don't need another goal. We can sit back. We've held them for 45 minutes. We can do it for another 45. And I mean, as for your game, 1-1 as it stands, you've probably got the most dramatic game of the tournament. Just 2 penalties, both by VAR, to sort it. What do you see from either Portugal or France changing going into the second half?
Well, for a start, I think
we'll get a drink as well.
Yeah, that's all right. For the French side of stuff, I would have to say they've got to change formation up. I really don't think the 4-2-3-1's worked. It's been terrible. I'll be honest with you, Tolisso in this game's been fucking useless. I think on that right-hand side, there's not much in the game that he's brought to the table. And whether they make changes or not in the second half, it will be interesting to see because, we were sat there with a minute left. We got to 1-0 and we were thinking, yes, there's going to be changes made. But now the 1-1, Will Deschamps look at it and think to himself, well, actually, I don't need to make any changes. Preferably, I think he should, because he's not working well right now. And when Mbappe's been kept quiet, apart from that penalty and the one little chance he had, it's been a very, very quiet first 45 minutes. And I don't think when you've got the likes of Griezmann, Mbappe and Benzema that you can have them be quiet for 45 minutes. You want them to be lethal in front of goal. And no doubt we'll have to see whether or not they can bring something to the table in the second half, because I would change to the 4-3-1-2 and probably play Tolisso as a midfielder rather than a wide player, because he's been pretty crap in this game so far. But as for Portugal, I honestly, I don't know what you do change, whether you bring on someone like a Bruno Fernandes and maybe play him as an attacking midfielder for a bit more creativity, because right now, obviously, a point is still enough for Portugal. It gets them to the magic 4. That's the important number we've said throughout the whole of the group stages. But whether we want to sit back and risk that, you can't, because it's France. When they've got world-class players left, right and centre, you need to be taking your chances. And I think this has got real potential for this second half to be a corker with a few goals. And maybe, on the other hand, it doesn't, because I know Peter was saying multiple times he thinks it's going to end in a draw and both teams are quite happy to take a point. But I personally think, after hearing the news of what's happening in Hungary, then it might give France a bit more of an idea here. Well, why not let's go and beat Portugal and knock them out? Because there is a possibility, right, that these two sides come up against each other in the final. There's a real possibility that these two meet up again later on in the competition. So if France could knock Portugal out, if Hungary could hold on to that win, get something in the game, beat Portugal, they're out of the competition. Well, sorry, they might still be in it because of the 3 points, because Finland obviously won't have enough. But it would just make for very interesting viewing, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's one that you would hope France, because for France, winning this game furthers your chances of winning the tournament. Because if we're going to call spade a spade, Hungary are not Portugal. And as we get later into this tournament, these bigger sides have more experience of these big major tournaments going in later to the games. Going further and deeper into the tournament. And if you're France, you've got to, in that team talk, Deschamps has got to say, guys, we win, we knock out Portugal, which basically secures our chance, gives us a 10% better chance of winning this Euros, because we know how good Portugal are by playing them right now. If you can beat these guys today, we don't have to play them again. We could get an easier tie. We can give ourselves, there wouldn't be as much worry. And I think that's what they've got to have, something, I think, to motivate them, France. And maybe that is it.
That was going to be the mindset going into the game. That obviously, even if they do lose tonight, Portugal, they're still probably going through. It needed to be an absolute mauling for them to go out. You know, we needed 4 or 5 goals. I thought tonight France would go there and say, right, look, there's not much chance of Portugal going out, but let's go out there and let's see if we can bag a few goals. Because if we can get, 2 or 3 on the board, which this France side can easily do, there is a real possibility then we could see Portugal get knocked out. But I think regardless, they'll hear the news about Hungary and it'll just give them even more desire, because then obviously who knows what happens then, because we want to see Hungary go through. But then the Germans will still get themselves back into the game. But looking at the comments and seeing what you guys have been saying over the last 5 or so minutes, Kyle, obviously putting the links in the chat, will talk with us in a second. Thank you, Kyle. Peter saying his £125 draw bet is halfway there. Doing very good indeed with the bets, aren't you, Peter, throughout this tournament so far? Daz, he thought it was a diving yellow card. Chris saying VR is inconsistent in Europe. Not a penalty for on Mbappe. I think people need to stop saying... people need to stop being in cuckoo land, whoever says it is a penalty. VAR now doesn't work consistently in Europe, never been a penalty. I wonder if there's an English referee in the VAR room. Probably is, to be fair. Sasha, obviously back in France tonight. That's why he was saying it was a penalty. That makes me understand even more now. Chris saying, I wouldn't wear our underpants too much if we do get Hungary. They're no mugs. They would fancy beating anyone. Exactly, that's what I said. They're one of those teams that would have absolutely nothing to fear. As Peter says, what a lovely goal, Hungary. Brilliant. I'm right. England play Portugal if Hungary win and France draw. Yes. So basically, England will play Portugal if Hungary win, France draw. If Hungary win and France win, then we play Hungary, because Portugal would only be on 3 points and Hungary would be on 4. So there is still a chance. As Tiago joined us, how are we doing, Tiago? Welcome us along. He says that was not a penalty kick for France. Do you think it was a pen? No, it wasn't. It was a terrible decision for me from the referee. Absolutely stupid decision. But as a neutral, it makes for an interesting second half. So the decision's not going to change. And obviously, as an England fan, we're kind of hoping that France win in the end.
I'm about to see this Mbappe. Oh, that's not a pen. He's just run into him.
Yeah.
And I also saw the Lloris punch. Now, it is a penalty. It is unfortunate. So I didn't see Lloris actually cleared the ball out, but because of where William Carvalho was, Lloris has just followed through.
He's not even looking at Danilo Pereira, though. His eyes aren't even glancing.
Awareness in it
On the ball, yeah. And I think that's probably what goes against him.
Yeah, if he sees Danilo Pereira, and this sort of a thing of he goes to punch it, and he sees him in this sort of not retaliation, but in terms of he goes to stop connection with the face, I feel like would not be given. But yeah, due to the full-on fist to the side of the head, it's definitely a penalty.
Yeah, it is a penalty. I mean, obviously, it's good to see Danilo Pereira's all right, because it could have been much worse than it did. But as Dazson just said, Wales v Denmark and England are on BBC One. Yeah, they are. They've got confirmed this morning, Daz, that they're on BBC One for those games. And then Peter saying in the chat, sad decision, boo-hoo, give the champs a chance. I mean, going into the second half, let's talk about that before we have a look at some of the games coming up over the next few days. Going into the second half of your match, obviously for Germany, let's have a look at the bench very quickly and see who could maybe come on. That's the bench tonight. Now, one player on there that I don't think they want to bring on is Thomas Muller. But who would you say on that bench would be a difference maker that could come on and change the game up?
Well, you said they don't want to bring Thomas Muller. Muller was in heavy talks with Joachim Low before that start of the half. He hasn't come on. I don't think there's been any changes from right. For me, I think it's possibly one of the two strikers in Kevin Volland and Timo Werner for what more than likely it should be Leroy Sané, put Gnabry back to sort of on the left-hand side and play either Timo Werner or Kevin Volland. I would go with Timo Werner. I think he's a little bit more talented than Kevin Volland. Don't get me wrong, I think Volland's a great striker, but I think I'd want Werner there. I wouldn't be opposed to him bringing a Florian Neuhaus. Hopefully, I would like Leon Goretzka, I think is that man. Bring him on for probably OK Gundogan and have a muscle on that pitch and basically let him bully his way through. And I want to see Emre Can, of course, but I think Leon Goretzka and let him bully the Hungarian side because Hungary, I think, I've sort of seen this weakness that Gundogan is already on a yellow card as well. And so they've targeted him a lot when running with the ball. So take off Gundogan, bring on a more aggressive, larger player in Leon Goretzka. And I wouldn't be pleased to see Jamal Musiala. Let the young kid create a moment for himself in this tournament. And maybe it is too much of a pressure cooker situation for a man he's a man of his age, but sometimes pressure makes diamonds. And I would love to imagine, like, let's say Germany get one back, 80th minute, Musiala comes on, 90th, he scores a goal. He would go down in German folklore, saving them in this Euros. And that would be a proud moment. As for Hungary, don't really need to make any changes. What do you think about France-Portugal as both these games get underway?
Well, they're already making changes anyway now. Both teams have made a change. I think France have brought on Luca Digne.
Gosh, you didn't need to save.
I could have been the oracle, couldn't I?
You didn't need to say it. Well, you could have just gone, Luca Digne might...
I wouldn't say it was the first choice of name I bring on, but Digne's come on for Hernandez, and then Palinha has come on for Dino Pereira, who I'd assume obviously has come off because of the clash of... well, not a clash of heads, more the fist he got from Lloris in the face. But I would have said I'm a little bit surprised someone like Bruno Fernandes hasn't come on for a bit of creativity. Although saying that, I think Moutinho and Renato Sanchez have done all right. As for France, as I said, I would have taken probably more of a change of formation than somebody off. I would have taken Tolisso off the right wing because he's been pretty shit on the right wing. And that's no discredit to him. I just don't think it's a position he was probably expecting to play in a game like this. As already a chance here for Portugal after 20 seconds. Ronaldo to Bernardo Silva, good defender at the back from Digne. And I would have probably brought on someone like a Koeman or a Lamar on the wing and had some more creativity and pace up top. But we're not going to get it. Hopefully, though, we do get a good second half.
Oh, by the way, I love the passion from Hungary. Serge Gnabry just got him behind. Fiola came across and slid and make the block. And he got straight back up and just screamed at Italia Shalai, and Shalai did the same to him. The passion in every tackle means something for this Hungary side. And as much as I probably want Jamie to go through for my Dortmund bias, my God, would it be so good to see Hungary go through?
They're a good team unit. And obviously, you've got to be in a group like this because every single game, you've got to play 100% for the whole thing. You can't switch off when you've got world-class players around you, left, right, and centre. And, as we said before, when you actually look at Hungary, one of the weakest teams, made it through from the playoffs. So they didn't actually even make it through just by normal qualification. They had to go through the playoffs. And credit to them, because any team going into this would have looked at that group, been drawn in it and gone, crap, we're getting nothing in this. Just get ready to basically get absolutely spanked up in every game. But they've come into it, they've shown no fear, and they've given it their all. There's a chance here for Benzema, who's in on goal, and Benzema scored. It's 2-1. And Benzema,
yes, it's a brace.
Flagged us offside, I think. And I think he's flagged us offside. Yeah, it's offside. It's not going to count. And as Benzema went to celebrate...
Don't do that to me.
It's disallowed. And this was a brilliant pass.
I thought I'd won money.
Oh. That doesn't look offside to me. I think that's going to get checked by VAR. It was a high-quality pass from Pogba. Lofts the ball over the top to Benzema. High-quality pass. I think that this is going to be given as onside by VAR. And as VAR was a sin in the first half, it might be the sin in the second half. And the goal's given. Benzema has scored. It's 2-1 to France. Hungary are going second.
Rowan's made money.
And Rowan's made some cash. And as Pete
oh my God.
Pete, not anymore, Peter. It's 2-1 France. Well.
What were the reasoning how Portugal might not go through? Was it? Could they finish in fourth? They couldn't, could they?
No, they couldn't.
No, they couldn't. Oh, never mind then. I was hoping Portugal wouldn't go through. Oh, we still need that 5-goal swing, don't we?
So the fight, you need a 5-goal swing for Portugal to not go through. But what it does mean to the table, and what a massive, massive moment this is, and no doubt those fans, obviously in Budapest, who are at this game, they'll know it. The fans that are actually in Germany will hear the news, no doubt, that Hungary are going second in Group F.
They've just heard it. I think either they just heard it, or I'll hear it very, very soon. They're probably when they show the replay of the penalty. I'm pretty confident I'll hear the Hungarian fans, because there is a large contingent of them in that sort of away end at the Allianz. Obviously, if you've seen the news around this week, absolutely unreal. The news as well, that they weren't allowed to lie up.
Very nearly had a chance of his own to put the ball in the back of the net and make it 2-2 in a heartbeat, but goes for the header.
Josh,
doesn't get the touch in the end.
Josh, mate, why didn't you tell me not to cash out? He'd be on 2 goals now. And
I said to you about the £3 free bet. I said to you,
you went, watch him get 2 goals now, and then you'll have £6 in free bets, and you wouldn't have made your money. Luckily, I put him to score a brace, so we're okay. But fucking hell, I should have backed him.
I said a brace was on the cards for Benzema, and he's got it. And I mean, technically, he could be the first player maybe on card to get a hat trick.
He really could. He really, really could. As Daz has just asked you a question, you went, what do you think, Josh on or offside?
It was 100% on, 100% onside. I think initially when you first see it, it was a tight one, but we'll see obviously VAR wise a little bit later on that he's onside. Is Digne's gone down after 5 minutes of being on the pitch, and it might potentially see a substitution.
Oh, not what you want to see for France. But I saw the goal. What an incredible pass that was! A beautiful pass. And then Kai Havertz here on the turn outside the box. Forced Galaxy into the save. Germany have got a little bit of wind in the sails.
Oh! Portugal go bottom of the group.
How?
Because of Germany's
right now.
As it stands with the group, Portugal are bottom on 3 points.
Stay.
Germany are third on 3 points. Hungary second on 4. It means Portugal would be going out as well. Competition.
Come on, I might have got a prediction right. I had Benzema golden boot. That might not happen, but I had Portugal to crash out.
Wow, and there is going to be a change by the way, because as it's Digne's going to have to come off it. I think his hamstring's gone. I don't know what it is. It wasn't even attacking anything. He just literally went, no, I don't think I'm going to be able to continue here. So it looks like Digne's going to have to come off. Rabiot's coming on, so it looks like Toliso's going to go to left back. And it might be a change of system here for France. But the last thing you want is to take off the substitute after less than 5 minutes of being on.
Is Pavard on the bench?
No, he's not. I think he was injured as well.
I wonder if Pavard would have come on for him, but yeah.
Let me have a look.
But Sane was fouled here.
I know he's on the bench. Really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Strange. Hello? I heard like a doorbell ring, but I think it was, what was it called? It was in the stadium. But yeah, we had a perfect corner free kick comes in. Hummels wins the header. Actually, it was Willie Orban who wins it. Hummels looked like he won it. And a free kick goes the other way. And Hungary, my God. The thing is, Germany will sort of hear it, and not the pressure will be relieved. But if they keep on hearing that Portugal are losing, I think there might be part of them that'll go, okay. There's not as many worries. They'll still want to go out and win this game. A draw, if I'm right, would be a worse result for Hungary. Will, because obviously Hungary need the win.
Just give them the win, Germany. Give them the win.
Give the win. If you know Portugal are going to lose,
if you know Portugal will lose, just give them the win. Allow them through. Because I mean, obviously for England fans, I genuinely worry it would be an Iceland 2.0 with Hungary. I do, but I don't care because then Portugal are out. Get them gone.
You remember the media before saying, we should really walk through Iceland? I hope Hungary beat us in part of me if the media reacts the same way.
And they will. Well, obviously, we'll not get too ahead of ourselves because there's a long, long way to go in both games. The England media would definitely say we'd beat them. And I don't think it'd be easy as they make it out to be.
Good ball in by Kimmich. And Adam Shalai initially wins the header. Ginter puts it back into the box. It's still in the box. Rudiger on the turn. And it's headed away by Willie Orban. And there's two players down in the box here, both holding heads. It's Ilkay Gundogan and I think that's Schaefer. Yeah, Schaefer who's down. 2 head injuries, so that'll take a bit of time.
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? The way that these groups are going right now, it's just... But we said it was going to be back and forth tonight. What we didn't expect is to be sat here with 35 minutes left of action and Portugal to be sat bottom of the group.
Who would have thought? As both players are down here, both being checked for obviously concussions for sure.
I think the dream here for Hungary would be that France get the next goal and make it 3-1, because then Portugal would have to score obviously 2 minimum.
Yeah,
to go back into third, and I could see them doing it, but we also had the same scenario when they played Germany and they needed to score to obviously make it 4-4, and they didn't. So there's a lot more pressure on this game than there was in the Germany one. And right now, they've got all of the possession in the last 5 or so minutes, but they're not doing much with it. And I wonder if maybe Bruno Fernandes is sat on the bench thinking, is it my time to shine and come on and help them out, because they are in a dire situation. And for the Germans, Rowan, they were in a dire situation, but now they're not. Yeah,
but there is still worries. The place, and that substitute will come on, it's Leon Goretzka who's warming up. But yeah, the Hungarians absolutely booming right now. And some of the German fans are celebrating as well because they know they're at least through as it stands. We've still got around 30 minutes left of these games. And whoo, it's getting tense. And this is what you wanted on the final match day. You want 2 games going into the wire. The only team that is confirmed is France. But Germany, Portugal, Hungary are still fighting for this tournament.
And that's what I wanted to see tonight from France. I want to see them showing the class and the prowess, because obviously I know there are a lot of people out there who are saying it was going to be draw. I think Peter said, obviously, he thought it was going to be draw. But if I was the manager tonight for France, this is a great curtain raiser for the knockout stages, because what you can do, as I said at halftime, you have an opportunity, depending on results elsewhere, which they're going the way right now, for Portugal to be booted out, which in the long run, inevitably these two sides have got a very massive likelihood of facing off against each other in the later stages. So why not get them out of the tournament now? Because they were favourites, boot them out, and then you're in a much better position. Because I think if you're looking at the tournament before, and everybody's favourites were Portugal, were Germany, were France. And of course, England were up there, but that's the English media. But Portugal and France were the 2 favourites everybody were going for. And right now, it's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers.
And that's a stupid foul. We did have that sub Goretzka has come on for Ilkay Gundogan. More importantly, Leroy Sané. A combination of Sané and... No, it's actually Sané. Ginter who just wipes out Adam Shalai. And this is just in front of the corner flag. And we know how lethal Hungary are in the air. Can Hungary add a second? Because if they had a second, my God. Woof.
By the way, the way that the draw is panning out right now with the sides of the table, if the results stay like this and nothing changes, one side of the draw has France, Belgium, Germany, Croatia, Italy, and Spain. They're all on one side of the draw. The other side of the draw would have England, would have Hungary, would have a few other sides as well. It would be the more favourable one. Sweden would be on there too. Man.
Yeah, we've just... That free kick got taken by Kleinheiser. And it's a really dangerous one because it's just straight into the centre of Manuel Neuer. He's forced to punch it. Nego then on the sort of the rebound fluffs his lines. Kleinheiser then just can't put it back into the net. But Hungary, the hope's there for them.
It's exciting, isn't it? We got half an hour. It feels like ages. Come on, Hungary. We want to see it. And we're not just backing Hungary because we want them. I think they deserve a spot in the next round for how they've played. As Russ is in the building, he's put hi Jack and Ron. Obviously, he accidentally meant to put Josh Predictor. We know what it's like; it's terrible. Change my account name. How are you doing, Russ? Hope you're good, mate. Welcome along. Come on, Hungary. Come on.
We've just had a meaty challenge from Willie Orban. It was a good ball over top. Kai Havertz takes a great touch, and Willie Orban just comes across and just thwacks the ball.
Penalty! Penalty, Portugal! Handball given. This is going to be reviewed, but handball given on Jules Koundé. Now, there's a couple of things, right? Kunde's arm is high and away from the body, which will make this look more like a penalty. However, it's very, very close to him. I think this is going to get given as a penalty because his hand is away from his body. And this could be a big opportunity for Portugal to get themselves right back into it. Third potential penalty of the game here. And I think the referee's got the decision right here to give this as a pen, which means Ronaldo has a second chance at the spot, potentially, to get something in this game. Obviously, Peter's going mad because he's got money on this for a draw. He's not scored it yet, Peter. But we'll have to see if he can. I think he will. As VAR, he's going to take a moment to check on this. And obviously, if Portugal were to score this, it would put Germany back to the bottom of the group. Portugal would go back to, I think they would go into second place. And the penalty has been given.
I'll say real quick, Lera San's been yellow carded. Great ball top by Atali Salai. And then it was on the counter. Fiola's been fouled. There's a free kick outside the box on the right-hand side. Penalty, more importantly.
This has got to be one of the biggest penalties that Ronaldo's had of his international career. Ronaldo steps up to the spot. And he's tucked it in. And Ronaldo does it again. It's 2-2 in this game. And just like that, Germany are now back in treacherous positions. Portugal go back to second. I think there's a long way to go in this game with half an hour to go. 2-2. What a game.
And we've got a free kick. So dangerous. Just on the out, literally on the white line, on the left-hand side of the box, facing the keeper. Roland Salah is standing over it. And I don't know if this is going to be crossed in or he's going to go for it. There's a two-man wall for Germany. Sasa is not happy. But more importantly, Roland Salah. He steps up. Oh! And it hits the outside of the post and goes out for a goal kick. But my God, there was nerves there because it hits the post, but it rattles as if it's bounced in off the post. The noise made it sound it. But it's not. We're all right. It's still 1-0 here to Hungary.
Nervy.
So Germany especially.
As it stands, Portugal now second, so England will play off against Portugal. Doesn't matter what happens in this game for Hungary. They stay third as long as they win. Germany now back down to the bottom of the table. They've got to get something in their match or else they're out. As Kyle said, joint overall top men's goal scorer Ronaldo, he just needs one more goal to hold the record. And I tell you something, in a game like this, on the biggest stage, you probably feel like he could go and bag it tonight and get the winning goal.
You really do.
Portugal come forward. Free kick for him at the halfway line.
Benzema and Ronaldo, both on 2 goals. Both on for the first hat-tricks of the tournament. Penaldo. It's obviously not. Kai Havertz. Sane's left it for Ginter. But Germany have men in the box. And I think it's one aspect they'll sort of thrive with now is having Leon Goretzka in that midfield. He's going to win more headers than Ilkay Gundogan.
Free kick for Portugal.
Can we see?
Onto the left-hand side to Guerreiro. And they're just going to patiently build up, I think. Renato Sanchez knows he's going to hit it long. Moves it to the right-hand side. It's going to be Bernardo Silva. He's got an overlapping running with Nelson Semedo, who he finds. Lots of space for him. Tries to take on his man. Rabiot's done very well. Who looks like he's playing as the left-back. He's given away a free kick. And it's in a very good position here to whip this into the box.
I've just seen the free kick. Really good penalty. Really good penalty from Ronaldo.
And a good decision from the ref as well. As Kyle said, it's a pen. Unnatural decision. It was the way that is... Obviously, it was very close, which I think a lot of people will contest. But his hand was up. It was away from his body. It was the right decision to give. As Sasha and Russ saying, come on, France. And then Pete saying Germany will get a draw at most. No way are they going to win. Obviously, a draw for them would still be enough anyway. But we don't want that, Peter. We want Hungary to get something. As they're going to get the free kick here.
All the cards are flying around now. Sorry, Adam, shall I get him one?
See what happens here. Been a lot of cards in these games. I think we've had 4 France.
I need Roland Salah and then Hummels and Rudiger, and it's 500 quid.
What is that? That is one of the worst free kicks I think you will ever see. Bernardo Silva's just completely hit that over everyone. And I think even if you were 10 foot tall, you wouldn't have got that. That is a terrible free kick and a waste for Portugal.
Germany have a corner. They've took it quick. Gosens. It's to Kimmich. Puts it in. Havertz doesn't win the header. And Hungary can take a breather.
Nervy.
Oh, nervy times for both teams because a draw is enough for Germany. Whereas for Hungary, we've said it all throughout the night. And I think Fiola is going to get yellow card of the years.
And if Germany were to get something, then obviously the complexion changes again for everyone, because then it will put Hungary back to the bottom, Germany back into the fight to maybe finish at the top end of the group with both teams drawing in this match. Nervy. Very nervy indeed. 2-2 between Portugal and France. Hungary still 1-0 up against Germany as it stands. Big moments in Group F. Can Germany get
big moments? They've got a free kick here. As Kimmich, good high ball in. Galaxi's missed it! And Kai Havertz has headed it in! And it's 1-1 and the dreams for Hungary. I may have already seen the goal on my Sky Bet when trying to check something, but I didn't know who scored it. And it's Kai Havertz. And Pilter Galaxi's in no man's land. Oh, in Germany, they've come away with 1 point. It was a really good ball. And Thomas Muller is a couple players going to come on for Germany. And I think that might go down as a Kai Havertz goal, which I'll tell you afterwards is really even more important than it seems. Good cross comes in for Kimmich. He is onside. They're all onside. Mats Hummels is. Hummels initially wins the header. Galaxy doesn't punch it. And then Havertz just puts it in the back of the net for safety. It was a well-won header by Hummels. Stands his legs. Galaxy just completely misses the ball. Havertz does head it into the net. Head it. Sasa, we can't allow that comment. We can't allow that comment. But Germany have equaled it up.
Incredible. It now means, as it stands, that Germany, of course, will go back into third. Dramatic. Portugal 2, France 2, Germany 1, Hungary 1. This could be topsy-turvy for the next 25 minutes. Drama.
Oh, it's in! Hungary have scored!
2-1 Hungary.
Schäfer. And I was too busy looking at if Kai Havertz was a headed goal. And Andreas Schäfer has put it in the back of the net.
Unbelievable. I saw it before it came up on mine. Benzema's in. Could be a chance. Back heel to Mbappe. Misses it. Talk us through the goal, Rowan.
The thing is, I don't know. I haven't seen a replay. The thing is, I saw that Andreas Schäfer has scored on Sky Bet, but in my head, it hadn't clicked that it was 2-1.
I can tell you
and I'm just seeing it. It's straight from the goal kick, and he's passed around the defence. One ball over the top, in between Rudiger and Hummels. Hummels wins the header, and then it's headed back through. Adam Shalai dinks it back through to Andreas Schäfer. Neuer comes out. Schäfer heads it past him, and Hungary are winning 2-1.
And just like
oh my God,
as it looked like Germany were going to go second in the group, they were second as there's a chance still for a goal. And it's two brilliant saves from Rui Patricio to keep out France. One of them hit the bar. The other was a good save. Pogba's going to go for a long-range effort, and it's out for a goal kick. But as it stands now, Germany, when they made it 1-1, went second in the group. Portugal went third. Hungary went bottom. It now means Hungary are back to third again. Germany go bottom. If France win this game, Portugal go bottom of the group. Hungary go second. Drama with 20
And now for Germany.
Left.
Germany either need to get one back in this game or fucking hope France do a miracle right now. It's not even a miracle.
They need one.
Oh, my God.
And so nearly was there a goal, and it was an outstanding save from Rui Patricio to keep Griezmann out. And I'll tell you something, this game's got more goals in it, and I think yours has as well. Unbelievable.
We said earlier, it's going to be hard to top the games you had earlier. Hard to top the Poland game, hard to top the Spanish game. And right now, It is all up there. You're allowed to swear, Tubbs. You're in the chat. Corner cross comes in. Goes straight to the hands of Peter Galaccia.
And just like that, with Hungary, the fact they got the goal like that, they kept switched on. They went straight for goal. They got it out of nowhere. That's the desire that teams need at this stage of the competition when you come up against the big dogs. And again, Germany have got all the work to do. Literally, as they thought they didn't have anything else to do, because they would have gone second. Unbelievable.
That is absolutely incredible. And by the way, there were some subs. Thomas Muller did come on for Serge Gnabry, and I'm pretty confident Kai Havertz also did come off. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Andreas Schäfer is going to have to get a statue of himself in Hungary if they go through. 20 minutes left, though. It's not over.
I mean, looking at what you guys have said in the chat, I'll not read Sasha's out. We'll let you off because you're irregular. But Kyle saying Neuer in no man's land. Peter saying the most exciting day of football so far. What a feast of football. Definitely is indeed. Obviously, Sasha wants Germany's arse kicked. He wants them out. Let's hope, obviously, and see what happens to whether you get your dream or not, Sasha. And then, of course, what did Tubbs say as well? He said, the hell, Manuel. He's in disbelief. As I know Reese is in the building. How are you doing, Reese? He says, Pinaldo, he's helping my fantasy team, but obviously all the goals going in. Crazy. As his channel hopping.
It was a good cross. It's a good cross. And Leo Goretzka's just narrowly missed it. It was a really good ball by the Gladbach man, Matthias Ginter. And Goretzka is just a second too late. So close. It was an incredible ball in by Ginter. I've got to hype him up for KL. It was a really good ball. But, oh my God. I think it was Timo Werner, by the way, who came on for Kai Havertz.
Benzema going for goal. Curling effort. Good chance, but into the hands of Rui Patricio. But what a double save. It was an effort from Pogba. The first chance was outside the box. Brilliant save. Rebounds out to Griezmann. Takes the shot on. Another good save. Rui Patricio keeping Portugal in this. Because obviously, if France do get another goal, they're getting booted out of the competition. And I'll tell you something, Hungary, and this group has been incredible, hasn't it? It's lived up to the hype of what we expected it to be.
It really has. And my God, this is a final day. It really is. And it is not over yet. We have still got another 18, 20 minutes left in these games. Oh,
and Portugal.
And Chris said it perfectly.
Oh. Sorry for jumping in, Rowan, because there might be a chance here for Portugal. Ronaldo, obviously on for a hat-trick. Hacked down by Kimpembe. Good tackle in the end. Play continues. And an effort from Paulinho from outside the box. It's a waste and a chance to breathe. I'll let you go, Rowan.
It was. I don't know what I was saying. It's incredible. But KL, genuinely, I was just going to talk about him. How is Sane still on the pitch, honestly? He has been fucking awful. No, you know what? Maybe that's too mean. He just hasn't done anything, and it's such a shame to see. He's just tried to play the ball through just then, and he puts way too much that's needed on it. Really is way too much on it. And if I'm Joachim Low, I'm considering why is he still on the pitch? Because Gnabry, Havertz, and Gundogan have all come off. Ball laid off to Muller, and the ball doesn't go in. But when you've got talent such as Jamal Musiala, Florian Neuhaus, Kevin Volland, give them an opportunity. Don't keep Leroy Sané on the pitch after he's done fuck all.
Seeing the other chats, comments in the chat as well. Chris saying, I went as mental.
Sorry, I'm trying.
It's all right. We're both trying to go at the same time. Chris put, I went as mental as Robbie Savage with Hungary's second goal. I think we all will if they get another one. As Peter said, he thinks he'd cry if Hungary get another. Well, that's tears of joy or sadness. I don't know. Louis saying, that's why we love the Euros. It is indeed. And for those that were saying we needed to get rid of the third place playoffs, well, not playoffs, but the third place positions, think again. Chris saying, send Giroud on. Tubbs saying Neuer's having a nightmare here. Wayne saying you don't get this kind of stuff in the NFL. This is good, dramatic football. And then Russ saying in the chat, anyone else think Germany aren't hungry for the win today? Oh, we see what you did there. As Kyle says, Sané, he's garbage. And Tubbs saying he's stinking up the pitch. Not happy with Sané tonight.
Really is. As Roland Salah has just come off, which is a shame because he was part of my kind of bet, but it doesn't matter because he's coming off and putting an absolute shift today. And Shallbox Sean has come on here, plays for FC Dallas. Obviously, with there's a lot of an MLS contingent. I saw it with Finland as well. A lot of the Eastern European and the Nordic side playing the MLS, and we're seeing here with the FC Dallas. Only 20 years old. Good opportunity for him to take something of this game. But a man, he's just gone down injured. Adam Shalai has worked so hard this game. He's been all over the pitch, and he really does deserve it.
Honestly, I feel like we're very blessed, Rowan, that we were the two that were able to cover these two games.
I'm about to say...
It's honestly, it's just, even though there's 20 minutes left, you know that all four teams will know the back of their heads. Apart from France, obviously they're through anyway, but even Portugal now, they've just brought on Neves and Bruno Fernandes. They know they're not through yet because anything can change.
Yeah, and sorry, it was Leon Goretzka, Germany passing 9, and Adam Shalai just comes across and tackles Goretzka. He's genuinely, we take the piss out of Mainz and their strikers, but Adam Shalai has been incredible this tournament. This game is the epitome of it. Oh, God.
And no doubt KD will be thinking in the back of his head, where's this been at club level? It's been too long without good performances from him, but
100%.
15 minutes left of both games. As it stands, we'll keep you up to date with the groups. Right now, Germany 2-1 down to Hungary. Germany got a goal from Havertz, instantly conceded straight from kickoff for Hungary to take the lead again. Portugal 2, France 2. 3 penalties in this game. As it stands with the groups right now, Germany are bottom on 3 points. They need to get at least a point in their game against Hungary to go through. Of course, Hungary in third. A win is all they need to go through to the next round on 4 points. If they draw or lose, they are out of the Euros. Portugal, they have to get at least a point. If they lose to France, they finish bottom of the group and are knocked out. Hungary finish second. For France, doesn't really matter what happens for them. They're through anyway. And I still think we've got a long way to go. As Louis has been saying in the chat, of course, Ronaldo is now tied as the all-time top goal scorer in international football. He needs one more goal to win it. Wouldn't that set the scene if he was to do that today?
Absolutely. On a hat-trick as well. There's Ronaldo things, and that would be a Ronaldo thing to do.
Could be a Benzema get a hat-trick as well, you never know.
And the game's still over. Leroy Sané. And I think as for France, as for Germany, the only thing they can hope is France get a goal.
Yeah,
right now.
And I mean, obviously, England fans are praying France get a goal because it would mean England would go up against Hungary in the next round. It would also mean that it doesn't really matter for France, obviously, in terms because they'd finish top, but it would mean that the third place team would go up against Belgium. So it's making for very interesting potential here.
We've just had a good ball in. It was Tony Cruz, and it's what the impact that I said that he would come on and do. And Leon Goretzka cross comes in, and Goretzka goes for the head. It just narrowly misses and goes into the hands of Peter Galaxia. And it is just a relenting German pressure right now. It's just Germany. It's all Germany and Hungary holding on. But my God, are they holding on strong?
They are indeed. As Russ put, Group F is the championship of the Euros. It definitely is indeed. It's living up to the hype as we expected. Peter said he'd be crying happy tears because I love underdogs. Hungary have played amazing. Plus, I do not like Germany one little bit. Probably end 2-2. Lucky German goal. Don't say that, please, Peter. We don't want to say that. As Wayne said, can't wait for the World Cup in 2026 when the United States get to enjoy the third place rule. We'll have to see, of course, when it does get expanded.
I think Rowan might be saving up for that. That might be a big trip because I want to go to America and there's no better way than a World Cup.
Say, what a time to go.
It really would. I thought that was like a German subkeeper. It wasn't. It was a fan wearing a keeper's shirt. But because you rarely see fans, like people buying a goalkeeper's shirt, it really put me off. I was like, who's that? It was a fan.
I think we're going to have a short break here. Nelson Semedo's down. Peter saying here it starts. France and Portugal are playing for a draw. I know it. I don't think they can. I don't think they can risk it. I really don't. I think both teams have, well, obviously Portugal a little bit more. They've got to go for it, Portugal, because for moments in this game, they were bottom and they were going out. And obviously if France do get another goal, if they do sit and play for a draw, you don't know if France will disagree with that and go, you know what, we'll just go for the win and beat you out. Because as I said, I don't think France will not look at this game and go, we'll take a draw. Because they can take Portugal out of the competition here completely. As we are going to get a change, I think Nelson Semedo is going to be subbed off because of an injury that he's picked up. So it looks like Diogo Dalot, who, let's not forget, has already played international football with the under-21s for Portugal. He's going to come onto the pitch for the last 12 minutes of this game.
And a big moment for him, obviously, will be returning to Manchester United in like 7 days, and when his loan ends. And apparently, I know they probably wanted to keep him. And what better way to sort of say, I want to fight for my position, than maybe giving Portugal the win here and sort of calming the nerves. But Germany are knocking on the door of Hungary. Kimmich whips the ball in, and it's great defending again from Hungary. It's incredible right now. Toni Kroos driving his outside the box. Kroos to Gosens! And Toni Kroos has just put it past the post.
I thought you said he put it past the keeper then.
So close, just past the right post. It was lovely interlinking play between him and Gosens. And it hits you on the volley. And it just narrowly goes inches wide of the post. But, I mean, Peter said it earlier, probably ending a 2-2 draw. Germany, there's chances. There are fecking chances from Germany right now.
And as for this game, a little bit slower in pace right now. 10 minutes left. Obviously, Portugal probably are the team more likely to be desperate to hold on to the draw, knowing that if France do score, they're going out if they were to lose this game. And as Carl's put in the chat, this sums up Germany over the past year, where were crap in the Nations League, and now face going out of the Euros as it stands. And obviously, we saw them at the World Cup as well, got knocked out of their group stage at the World Cup. It's not been a good time for Joachim Low, though. Saying that, chance here for Portugal. Renato Sanchez at the edge of the box, still going. Good defending at the back, though, from Varane. Brilliant defending. Keeps tight to him.
I can't see who the subs have come on for. Jamal Musiala has come on for Robin Gosens. Again, Robin Gosens, player of the match against Portugal, hasn't done as much there. And Kevin Bolland has also come on. Now, I hope it's for Leroy Sané. For Matthias Ginter, Joachim Low is going for it. But my God, Leroy Sané is going to play the full 90 minutes. But Musiala and Kevin Bolland are wrong. Can they make an impact for Germany right now? So as it stands, they're going out of the tournament.
And it's kind of like Sané's got the Sterling problem, hasn't he? International level right now. And obviously a little bit more understandable because Sané's not had a better club season as Sterling. I think even when you look at the stats, Sterling's obviously still got goals and assists. But we said at the beginning of this stream, didn't we? We thought today would be a good chance for Sané to go out there and maybe get himself a potential chance to go on and prove himself. But obviously right now, it's looking like... Hungary are here on course to potentially go through.
I also think Adam Shalai came off the man of the match, the man of the tournament for Hungary. I think he came off for a defender as well, but I can't actually load up the starting 11 to tell you if he had. So, because I think so many people are checking the scoreboard on Google that they can't thingy. But Leroy Sané to Toni Kroos. I think Kroos lays off to Timo Werner. Took a deflection. Jamal Musiala puts it in to Werner. Goretzka! And it's in the back of the net. And it's 2-2. I saw the comments, but it's so unfortunate. Leon Goretzka has put it in the back of the net. And it's 2-2. And Hungary are out of the competition.
Not yet. There's still another 10 minutes, Rowan.
There's still enough time. I'm sorry, there is enough time. And it was the substitute. It's all good, Tubbs. The thing is, I don't blame anyone for, like, especially you, Tubbs. I know you're a German fan. I don't blame you. It made the intensity more thing. And genuinely, Jamal Musiala, incredible, wins the ball back. Goretzka lays it off to Kroos. A major deflection. And then Goretzka's hit it. I think it's took a deflection on the way in. It definitely has. It's come off. It's took a deflection off the goal scorer, Andreas Schäfer, as well. And is it over?
They're going to have to find some spirit. They're going to have to find some spirit and quick because they've got, probably less than 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes with additional time to see if they can get a winner. And they're going to have to go for it now, Hungary. They can't sit back and play defensively because obviously Hungary go fourth. Portugal will now go third in the group, but 4 points will be enough for them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So the pressure's on now for Hungary to do the work, because obviously Hungary are the ones that kind of deciding what happens with this group.
Josh, and I know that you're always ahead. What I've done is I've created a new Google tab and I cannot see the comments. So comment section, talk about the game like you're in sync with Josh if you want. Because I've managed to cover it up so it doesn't at least get spoiled for me.
Ronaldo at the edge of the box. Good defending from Kante. Animal gets the ball back. Does well indeed. As everyone said in the chat, Kyle saying, never mind. Yet again, come on, Germany. Great game. 2 brilliant games tonight. As Peter says, I knew they would score. What a shame. I think Hungary got nothing left in them. They're going to have to go for it. As Tubbs says, why do I feel like Hungary will get a penalty and win this game? I mean, that would be dramatic.
Viola did just go down in the box. Actually, a great tackle by Kimmich. And it just shows how much the momentum can switch. Because Kimmich makes a really important tackle. And it just goes and fist bumps a sort of chance to the crowd to carry them on. And it just shows how quick momentum can switch in a game. As Leon Goretzka is down, holding his face here. And a player you don't expect to see get bullied as often. And, not nice. Gets foot to the face.
As it stands, Germany will now be playing England in the match on Tuesday night. That's how it stands right now. It'll be Germany, of course, going into second place. Portugal in third on 4 points. They will be going up against, I think it would be Belgium. What a game that would be. Belgium, Portugal, England, Germany potentially on the cards. 5 minutes left, though. If Portugal could win this game, then that would change things up again, because then it would put Portugal to the top of the table. And it would mean then Germany would go, I think, and move down to third again with France in second. But still time to go.
It's all changing right now. I mean, it's still there. And Germany, they're going to slow this game down as much as they can. And you feel for Hungary because they gave everything in defence. They really did. They put all the men back. And then a lovely finish by Leon Goretzka. It does take a lucky deflection, but sometimes you need it. Now, Leroy Sané has been poor this game. He puts a good cross in. Thomas Muller nearly does win the header. It was a good ball by Sané. And it doesn't come to anything. I do feel so sorry for you, Josh, because you know when a goal's gone in on my end or man in KL's end, and you have to hold your reaction.
I think I've done... Okay, Musa Sissoko's coming on for
Come on! Come on. They're clearly going for a draw, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks like they're going for a draw now, which is poor.
It's a shame.
Really poor. Yeah. Get them out of the competition. You want them gone, but yeah, Sissoko comes on for Griezmann, and then Pete's saying, I hate to say it, but England will beat Germany. Quite easy as well. 3-1 is going.
And again, a man of the tournament for Hungary. And if they do go out, I think they can hold their heads high. Fiola, Nemanjic, Italia Fiola, and Nemanjic Nikolic, the striker, is going to come on now. Nikolic did really well when he came on for Adam Shalai against France. Can he repeat that? And the other sub, it is going to be Italia Shalai. No, it's not. It's going to be Kleinheiser, the centre midfielder again. Laszlo Kleinheiser. There we go. We nearly got the name right. Again, another midfielder for Hungary that's played incredibly well. And Gergo Lovrenskis is going to come on. But Kleinheiser and Fiola, great tournaments from both of them. And Hungary will look back at this and go, you know what? We might be out, but we fucking took the games. Maybe not. No, you know what? They took the game to Portugal as well for 80 minutes. And they can walk out this competition with their head held high because they have been one of the better sides in this tournament. And yet they're going to go through and not on the third place. It's absolutely incredible.
It's mad, isn't it? We've had another change in this game. Sergio Oliveira's come onto the pitch for Renato Sanchez. Portugal just running down the clock now. Of course, knowing a point will be enough for them to go through. A few Portuguese fans in the crowd actually bowing Renato Sanchez as he comes off the pitch. That's how much he's appreciated by the fans for what he does. As Tubbs says, Hungary deserve the respect, to be honest. And they do, because what they've shown is the grit and determination that, teams need when they come up against the big dogs, and they have gone into every game and they've given it their all. And yes, they did lose 3-0 to Portugal, but they tried their goddamn hardest in all 3 matches. And if they were to get a result or a point against Germany and a point against France, they can put their heads held high and really appreciate what they've done. As Kyle's put, even though Germany beat poor, they did beat Portugal easily, so anything can happen in that game against England if they play them. And obviously, we'll know in 5 minutes, and we'll talk through it when we know who England face. But that is a game where anything could go.
Oh,
anything
it really is. Because Germany against France didn't look at the best. Against Portugal, they looked at their best. And against Hungary, they've been shaky.
I would have said probably if they were to come up against Germany, England, that is the only one where I think nobody could really predict what could happen in that match because both teams have played very interestingly, I think is the best way to put it, in the group stages.
I think we've had both these teams have had one good performance, one poor performance, and one meh performance. And it's going to be, if it does plan out this way, 4 minutes of added time left, Hungary can easily get a goal back in that time. They'll win another corner and they're going to take the time with this Germany.
We've got a minute left here, 90 minutes on the clock in this game. And is there going to be a decent amount of additional time in this match? Both teams look quite happy for a point, which is a real shame. I really did think France would actually try and go for it and see if they could have booted Portugal out. Now, obviously, it doesn't matter because Hungary aren't winning, but the chance was there on the table to kick Portugal out.
Yeah, and
it could still go their way, depending on the additional time in your match.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 3 minutes left of added time. Probably 1 minute of real time, if we're being honest, obviously without delay. But Germany are just holding the corner. Well won back. And Hungary might have one last chance. It is just kicked long. Max Hummels will collect. Neuer is obviously there waiting and will just put it right to that corner. Muller with a poor touch will go out for a throw-in.
I don't think it's often you see Germany playing the ball at the corner flag against Hungary, as we're into 5 minutes of additional time in this game between Portugal and France.
Enough time. Enough time at all for France to get one. So the dream situation for Germany is if Hungary do score, France get one, and you can tell the tired legs of Hungary coming in just so much, and even the German fans are clapping Hungary. Probably Germany on the inside probably know that they don't deserve to be going through if we're basing it on this game in terms of just raw passion, but they got they got the 2 goals that they needed. They shut off after that, and after once Kai Havertz scored, they did shut off, but Andrei Schäfer put it in. And with 2 minutes left, preferably, Josh, I need a German penalty because Havertz did score a header. So if we can get a German penalty in a minute, I think it's going to be.
Don't think you're going to get that now. I think it might be a bit too late. Same. Unless there's some proper late drama, which would be nice, but I don't think we're going to get that, unfortunately.
Same.
And it'll be a shame because obviously we'll know obviously what's happening with your match before this one. So potentially we could obviously see that game's finished 2-2, and then it doesn't really matter what happens in this game. But Korsman's gone down in just outside the box.
Oh.
Bruno Fernandes pushing against him. Gone on the back of the calf of Koeman. Whether they're seeing... Oh, there is a connection on Koeman inside the box. But it's not going to be given.
Oh.
But he definitely caught him.
And there's a minute left of this half. Headed one. Stands Jamal Musiala. Muller plays it through to Leroy Sané. Sané, oh my God.
There is actually talk here for VAR to check this, by the way. He's been told the referee to check this by VAR. Let's remember, right? Obviously, it's looking like Germany and Hungary is going to finish 2-2. If this was given, the complexion of the group could still change. But VAR's checking this for a penalty to see whether or not this is going to be given. And it's looking like it's not going to be given in the end. Referee... It's technically not been... Yeah, no, it's looking like it's going to be overturned here. It looks like referee's obviously getting ready to kick off. And he does, check over, no penalty given.
Oh, wow.
And with 2.5 minutes left here, 2-2, it's looking like the complexion of your game isn't going to change what happens here.
Yeah, it's full time. And I mean, I just stayed quiet while you were talking about the pen, but Germany had a chance to win this game. It was a lovely passing down by Thomas Muller, and it was a 3-on-2. Leroy Sané is bursting down the right, All he has to do is put a normal on-the-ball pass into the box, and I think it was Werner or Musiala. There were players arriving, and he just fizzes it out for a throw-in. And if it is interesting, but it is full-time. And I think, as everyone said in the track, Chris has said, Hungary done themselves proud. Tom said, good for Hungary. We mentioned it all throughout the night. They can walk out with their heads held high, and in a gritty performance against Portugal, where they just fell at the last minute hurdle and crumbled. An incredible performance against France without their star striker in Adam Shalai to come away with a point, and then come away with another point against Germany after taking the lead twice, and it coming down to an 84th minute equaliser to knock you out of the tournament. They'll be severely disappointed, and Peter Galaxy, I think there will be part of him who will see this as his fault when he came rushing out for that free kick and he missed it. But Hungary, they have shown the passion, the desire to win and compete in a group where everyone ripped them off. And tonight they've done that. They've proved that they were a side not to be messed with. They really have. And they'll go forward now. Germany do progress. They will face us as it stands right now.
And it probably will be, because both these teams are just passing around the back. They've heard the news that the game's done and dusted. So both teams happy to take a point here. And it looks like it is going to be Germany-England on next Tuesday, which is a very exciting game. Maybe one more chance here. Ball lofted long. Comes towards Oliveira, who tries to hit it on the volley. It's going to be given as a free kick to France anyway, as a foul. And that will probably be it for this game. And Germany it shall be on Tuesday for England. As for Belgium, it shall be, I think it's looking like it's going to be Portugal. What a game that'll be.
What a game. Oh, this is getting interesting. I mean, Tom said both keepers were horrendous, to be fair, Rowan. Yeah, Timo Werner. Not Timo Werner. He weren't in net. Manuel Neuer rushing out on that Andreas Schäfer. And you see the German players there. Robin Koch, obviously, hasn't played a minute of this tournament, but got called up. They're all just clapping to the German fans, obviously, they're in attendance.
And there's a shout here for a penalty, potentially, for France.
What?
Well,
I thought it was over.
Shout here, but I'm only joking. It's full time, 2-2
don't do that.
Between Portugal and France. No, as I said before, both teams passing around the back at the end, as we expected. Both teams knew that this game was done between Germany and Hungary, who picked up a 2-2 draw, of course. So both teams are through to the next round. There's somebody who's come onto the pitch to invade, gone straight over to Ronaldo to ask for a picture. Ronaldo, I think, has ignored him, which is quite funny to see. Yeah, I know it's a kid, but it's still quite funny to see him actually ignoring the guy as he's ran on the pitch. But as it stands, and as it will stand with this game done and dusted, Portugal will finish the group in third place, which means Portugal will be coming up against Belgium in the next round. And it also means Germany will be facing England. That's on Tuesday, the 29th of June. And of course, France will be coming up against Switzerland in their game in the round of 16.
Obviously, you can't see it, Josh. If you turn on the channel quickly, I think they've moved now. The Hungarian supporters, there's a lot of them, singing the national anthem, hearts on the hands. The Hungarian team and the coaching staff crying, singing it with them. It just shows the passion that this nation has had. And we talk about sort of, do you know how England got the World Cup fever? And there was every single English fan, not even if you're a football singer, is coming home. And that shot will be one that will be remembered in, I think, Hungarian football history, genuinely, of this Hungarian side in the face of adversity, being strong. I've just seen the kid who's just crying for Ronaldo to get a picture of him. It's quite funny, that.
It is quite funny. It makes it even better that he got ignored. But yeah, that means that's how the group's looking now. France top, Germany second, Portugal third. I tell you what, Rowan, I think Germany will be thinking, how the hell have we finished second? We are so lucky today.
You are entirely right. And it all comes back to Joachim Löw and his selection. I think if they didn't play Leroy Sané and they played anyone else, I know Muller was injured. Don't get me wrong, I know he was. But if you brought Leroy Sané off earlier, it would have been more play sailing for Germany. Leroy Sané was at fault for not doing enough going forward. And when he had the ball, he didn't create anything. Yes, I think there were the two keeper errors led to both goals. But also, we got to face him. Genuinely, if Leroy Sané is on the pitch, I am not going to be as worried as I would if it was any other player. Based on this tournament's form, and it's such a shame he's a talented player, but Germany, they do somehow finish second because of that incredible performance against Portugal. Come away with a draw here, and it could have looked a lot worse. But Germany progressed somehow, and they'll face us on Tuesday. What a game that will be.
It'll be a very good game indeed, because this is the round of 16 games for everybody that's wondering. Wales take on Denmark. That's the first game. That's on the 26th.
Denmark.
Italy up against Austria. That is also on the same day on the 26th at 8 o'clock kickoff. That one is. Netherlands take on Czech Republic. That's on the 27th of June. We've then got after that Belgium against Portugal. What a game that one will be. That is an absolute cracker of a game. And then straight after that, this is Monday's games. Croatia against Spain. They're both back-to-back games on Monday. That's the Monday 28th. And then Tuesday 29th, the last day of round of 16 action. England against Germany. Sweden against Ukraine. Rowan, what's your standout fixture of the round of 16?
For me, I would say England thinger. I'm going to go Croatia, Spain. Both teams haven't looked at their best this tournament, but they both have had really good performances. Scotland against Scotland and against Slovakia. And I feel like that could be one that boils over. And that could be one of the games that we see go to penalties. Two very even sides. Two sides that haven't been to the best yet in this tournament. And we've got the best to see of them. Obviously, don't get me wrong, England versus Germany is one of the games. But for me, Croatia, Spain is that slip hit. Who is it for you, Josh?
I mean, obviously, there's one standout. There's Belgium, Portugal, which will be an absolute cracker of a match. I think that'll be a brilliant game to watch for the neutral. Of course, that's on the same day as Croatia, Spain. That'll be a good match to watch. And then I also think maybe not a standout game, but a game which could be fairly interesting. Sweden, Ukraine, because it's going to allow one of the teams a good opportunity to make the quarterfinal. I think they're in the side of the draw that is actually looking fairly decent, so there is potential to push forward. And I think Sweden probably the favourites in that game. We've how they've played in the tournament so far, but it'll make for good viewing that game.
I think that's the same with Wales, Denmark. That's another sleeper game where one of them sides going to get to a quarterfinals, and I don't know the winners would end up coming against Italy or Austria, if I'm right.
I think so.
Which is a shame. It's a shame because I would have loved it if the winners of Wales, Denmark would face Sweden or Ukraine. But if Austria do the miracle over Italy, we could. I'd be looking for a really beautiful quarterfinal with that. But Wales, Denmark is another one. Netherlands, Czech Republic. I don't think Czech Republic being one of the standouts of lower nations in this tournament. Netherlands playing well, but they haven't been tested yet. Is that a game that we could see them be tested? I think all them round of 16 games are all going to be the major tests. I can't wait to see them all.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting indeed. And that is, of course, over the space of 3 days of action, a whole host of matches, which we will be covering them all, of course, and no doubt should be very exciting indeed. And as we said, do keep your eyes out on the channel because that is what's coming up over the next few days. We're going to have a 2-day break with no action going on as we reach that stage of the competition. But very quickly, just looking at the side of the bracket we are on the good side of the bracket where there is only England, Germany, Netherlands, that are the big three teams. On the left-hand side, there is Italy, Belgium, Portugal, France, Croatia, Spain, that are all on the left-hand side of the draw. Again, England, if they were to go through to the next round, would face either Sweden or Ukraine. They've got a good side of the draw again. Wales, another team that could make the semi-finals, but that's the first game of the round of 16. That is going to be on the 26th of June at 10-5. Very good game, that one should be indeed. Italy, Austria, that's with KL. That's going to be on the 26th of June at 10-8. Of course, Austria hoping to surprise everyone against Italy. And then, of course, Netherlands, Czech Republic. It's only with you, Rowan, isn't it? 27th of June. Do you believe that the Czechs can beat the Dutch?
Yes. All in my heart, they can do it. I don't have a Czech shirt, but I believe, and that's all you can have, is a little bit of belief.
That's the confidence we love to see. That's the confidence we love to see, indeed, of course. As we do go on over the next few days, we will confirm who's doing what games and when We'll be covering most of the round of 16 matches. But if you want to know when we do go live, do go and check out our links as always. Twitter @_top corner and Instagram is _sports corner _. Links are in the description and in the chat as always, as Carl is an absolute legend. Carl saying, cheers guys, have a nice 2-day rest and see you all on Saturday for the knockout round of 16. Have a good night all and enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you very much, Carl. Thank you very much to Rowan. We got some good games tonight, didn't we?
Mate, thank you for having me. The thing is, do you know when we did the watch-along yesterday, I went, oh, for God's sake, the Slovakia game's taken. I was like, oh, it's fine. I suppose I'll do Germany-Hungary. I'm so glad. I was here to do it with you. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much indeed. No, massively appreciated. And that is it. The group stage is all done and dusted. And while it might have not been the most exciting of starts to the group stage, Group F waited till last. We'll be back, as we said, next game coming up, Wales-Denmark, in 2 days' time. We will see you all on Saturday. But as for now, have a fantastic morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. And we hope to see you again soon on the Sports Corner. Take care. Good night.